Oh, nice.
खरीदे आगे साइड में मेरा बट
Hey, I know the Be right back when I.
अब चाहिँ आयो
Goes to the bush, trying to get those pre-fires with that DPS. Oh, great play from Inko, realizing, hey, we got one isolated player. Let's not try to get into a 1v1.
Control.
But they do it anyway. And they lose a player pretty needlessly, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good play coming through from Vitali. Just closing that one up, of course, securing their second Elam. But as you said, yes, they did lose a player in exchange. Sometimes you just got to pay the toll, I guess.
I think Inko did a great player because we saw a potential one happening, and that player instantly realized, like, hey, there's only one left. Let me just back off. We'll all push together, and we'll get him 4v1. But maybe there was a little miscommunication, as, they end up having one player go in anyway, and they lose him right there. But you know what? They still got the squad wipe, so good for them. As we're seeing the Edge of Paradise Resort get finished out. Man, a lot of teams are going out here early.
I mean, it's called Paradise for a reason. So, yeah, they still, I think, a little bit of that looking down in towards that southern side. But speaking of the south, I mean, we've got the players here from Rook also trying to pick up a little bit of the trade, going up against the Zebra Masters. Ooh, Atsu getting taken right on down. Let's see whether or not Zebra can line this one up, maybe even get a quick finish on Rook.
Was the bank open? Looks like it is. Oh, actually it isn't. Okay, so it doesn't get that finish, but goes and gets that knock there. And oh man, it's so difficult to be inside the building in this position because you're gonna get so much utility thrown at you. It's really, really tough. So Zebra Master definitely have the edge here, but they don't want to take too long. The longer this fight goes on, the bigger chance of third parties coming.
Yeah, now it's going to be the opportunity to push, and I'm pretty sure that Rook is expecting that kind of play to come through from the Zebra Master. So I like the trade, a little bit of awareness coming through here. Ooh, taken off, good nade, but now obviously able to find that last bit. I mean, looking at Zebra, right, they just taking their time.
Yeah, they're taking their time here, but they're out in the open and not in a very safe spot. They're so far on that that it can get dangerous. So I think if you're Zebra, yeah, you can see them on the move, looking to finish this out sooner than later.
Well, now it's all still down to the final push, though. I mean, we also did see the Death Wolves getting sent away. Oh, come on. It's so close.
Oh, he gets one. He might get the thirst. He does. Oh, and we're seeing this happen quite a bit in PK, right? Where we see a player pretty much all done and looks done for, but is able to steal a quick elimination before he goes out.
I mean, it's all about timing, right? You might get the first initial few shots, but if you find yourself in a slightly vulnerable position going up against these teams, I mean, you know what's coming your way.
For sure. I think that once these teams are fully warmed up, we're not going to see those mistakes where players are getting lost like that. But, the problem is that you only have 6 matches today, right? And it's going to decide whether you keep on going towards that big prize pool or you go home, and that is not what a lot of these players have worked so hard for here. As we are seeing Bold in a pretty good position here on the edge of the map.
Yeah, I mean, quite some distance out into the blue, but I mean, it's still stage 3, so the blue's not going to hurt all that much just yet. But they do have, of course, players there from Hurrah, just positioned up ahead. Faction Brazil, though, they're going to be camping out these compounds. Great opportunity up onto its Gizmo. See if the follow through going to be there, hoping for just one of those pixels to be out of place.
I think if you're Gizmo, you open up this Ooh, that peak was so dangerous. It's just not worth it at this point. They're on the edge of the circle. You know they're coming anyway, so I think just suppress the fire, wait for that zone to come on over, and you'll be good to go. And look at this, Falcons on the building in an excellent spot. They have so much vision, and they are just trying to lay down the law here.
I think they saw the hashtag, go beyond the top, and that's why they got themselves on the roof, trying to see just how far they can actually take it. So meanwhile, we do have a few of those casualties now starting to line on up. Gotta say, Faction Brazil though is still looking nice and steady. Not such a big fight over towards the edge of the zone here, but I think there's a lot of ground for them to try and make up here.
Yeah, let's see how they decide to do it here. Stage 3 can definitely start to spice things up. Stage 4 though is where it's all-out war. Ooh, okay, there we go. I was talking about Gizmo just leaving themselves out a little bit too open. In this kind of position, like Faction Brazil is desperate, right? They need that knock to be able to get a shot open here. So if you're Gizmo, you have to be extra careful. Just let the zone play it out. But getting that one-player knock is going to make things difficult. As we head on back over to Paradise, though, we see intense game. Do some gatekeeping, but no. Well, this next zone, they should still win. They can definitely wait a little bit.
I think that's part of the process. Looking your way through Paradise, there's so many nooks and crannies to just hide in and gatekeep teams as they start pushing forward. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure now, especially looking at the players like Gizmo and of course. Faction Brazil, they have to try and find a way forward. For Gizmo, the big threat is going to come through from Falcons just lurking on the edge of that zone.
You can see Faction Brazil, yeah, they were able to make it out alive, and they're going to start trying to creep through Paradise here. And it looks like they do have a little bit of an angle. Meanwhile, Zebra Master down to 2. They do have 4 eliminations, so that's going to help a little bit. But they know that's not going to be enough. At the end of the day, we're looking for that first place team. Because if you are first place at the end of the day, you're going to get an automatic golden ticket to the final.
The fight later down
that are going to be coming up here. That is what I want. I do not even want to deal with the prelims at all because it's going to be all out war.
I mean, unfortunately, we have to see what the prelims have in store for us, right? We are going to be adding even more amazing teams into the mix. But yeah, the stakes are going to be pretty high for whoever makes it through. But for now, we have a little bit of that silence. Now, I mean, good play coming through here from Factions, slowly just pushing in, clearing compound by compound as they push up. Maybe even getting a little bit of that block core action going here. But this could be a golden opportunity onto Hi-Fi's now.
Yeah, you can see them set up for the gatekeep. They're very spread out though, not in really good position. So that's going to be tough. That's why you see them kind of playing very kind of hidden positions where they can be in the spots where they're at, they can't get knocked at all. Yeah, I like that from Dream. He realizes that, you know what, it's just not worth it. Yep, almost gets shot in the back and leaves perfectly on time. Radiant sticks. So we might see another player get knocked, and he does. And this is what I was talking about. Well, actually, great support through the wall. Smokey with a perfect shot.
I mean, you gotta love the plays, though. Monkey just on the point with that play. Now it's up to Snowix and Dream to see if they can survive. Well, they do find yet another pickup, and now this is where Faction Brazil is going to be feeding all that pressure, right? It's going to be a super big scratch that! It's going to be 8 elims going straight to the Hi-Fi's.
Wow, Hi-Fi's doing a great job of putting control there in Paradise Resort. They really collapsed on Faction Brazil. They got that one knock, but weren't able to make it happen. So some excellent knocks here from Hi-Fi. Says the next zone does go on up here, and they are going to have to leave Paradise.
Gotta give it up. Gotta give it up, but not before going through quite an intense fight. Right, Zeus!
Nice shot.
Quick pickup for him.
Man, Hi-Fi so good with those return knocks instantly. And where's the rest of Intense Game? Yeah, they're gonna have to come and collapse and take this team out. Good thing for Hi-Fi's though, these guys are warmed up and ready to go with 8 eliminations. As they're trying to sneak some shots through those elephant legs there. Not able to find the angle. So looks like man, Hi-Fi's doing a great job here, getting those knocks, pickups quickly. And Intense Game doesn't seem to have that same level of synergy. These guys are still it out. They're gonna
top
play it
9
out.
हो
top 9
Host.
Let's see whether or not
तर
there's
top
maybe
1
a
आयो भने
little
चाहिँ
bit of
डाइरेक्ट
hope here.
फाइनल
Now
छ
left for high five.
प्रिलिम्स
I
चाहिँ
mean,
पता नहीं
starting to move. They have to. No, they don't have
top
all
1 आयो
that
त
much
हुन्छ नि
choice.
Prelims छैन हौ दिदी,
The
prelims
zone is
रहेछ।
gonna be closing up in less than a
Huh?
minute, but I think there's even more
Prelims
pressure
छैन,
getting added on.
prelims
Right,
रहेछ।
Falcons, they're getting closer. Zebra Master, they're getting
Falcon ले
closer. So
कस्तो हानेको
whatever
हौ,
Hi-Fi is
कहाँ
going
Falcon
to
is
do, they
5 किल
really
हान्यो।
need to get to it right now.
Oh
Wait,
my gosh,
Newslet
Rafa
तीन
needs
किल
to get it
हान्छ
done
भाइ।
here, but you're so
Newslet
right as
अच्छा
we
भाइ।
see Falcons
अहिले कत्रो
putting
हानेको
so
यो
much
दोस्रो
pressure
है।
onto a tense game, getting a bunch of
Rafa
knocks from their
बनाएको।
backs.
फर्की
And now it's just
हालिरहेको छ
Rafa. Oh, that
Rafa
nade should
बनाएको।
do it though.
Wait.
Oh, it's a stun! He hits a headshot with the
Stun
DBS
बनाएको।
some way, somehow. But it is not enough as Hi-Fis are continuing to
Don't let them
steamroll
in,
players
stop
here
them.
on the edge. Definitely
Yeah.
obstacles,
Falcon
eliminations.
first
Oh, I
here
wonder if
is
you're going to see a player pick up
छैन फसाइरहेको
and
बोली छ
you know,
हो
throw him on your shoulders and
Erangel
run into
first
this
is again.
circle because somehow this
Lockdown.
team still has everyone up.
Wow. I mean, this is the fight
पछाडिबाट
that I've been
खेल्नुपर्छ
wanting to
Falcon
see. Moneymakers going up
Falcons.
against Team Falcons.
Falcons.
Both teams now fighting for possession of at least that western edge,
Yes,
but the zone is going to move up. So this is going to force the Moneymakers to make a very difficult choice. They have to move in. Oh, but Biscay taking so many hits now to the face. It's going to be up to top to try and close it up. And there it is. Falcons swoop in for yet more eliminations.
I mean, these guys are ridiculous. I mean, look at the confidence, right? Literally running out in the open, even though we see one of the players from Moneymakers has the cover with the rock. It doesn't matter. John realizes, hey, we have to finish this here and now. We got to clear this side out. I don't care. I'm running out in the open and getting it done. That's exactly what happens. We see Smoke now on the defense here. DBSs are out in that close quarters combat. They're running a 2-1 split. 2 in the front, 1 in the back, and it did not work out as their remaining player is going to have to try and just hide replacement.
Well, they're getting smoked, right? That's what happens. All right there. Yeah, we're going to say goodbye to Sky pretty soon. Now it's up to No Fear, and I think this is where they really got to prove their worth, right? The name suggests that we are going to be seeing some pretty insane plays, but that is yet to be seen. Meanwhile, it's still going to be down towards the south side, right? Zebra and, of course, the players from the Hi-Fis now looking to score even more points.
Yes, they are, as now we are reaching the top 4 here for the first game of the PUBG Mobile Global Open Brazil. So much is on the line. Only 1 day of play. For anybody that's just tuning in, it's only 6 matches. This is match number 1. Hi-Fis have been just dominating this match so far. 10 eliminations to their name and still have their entire squad up. Now they're going to start the push again, and look at this. They have the numbers here. They got that DBS out. Now it's all about just execution. One well-placed nade from the other team could wreak disaster. And they get the circle here, so they gotta get this finished out quick.
I mean, it's now or never, right? They're gonna try and just lock it up, but of course, the Falcons are gonna come knocking on the door. At least for the time being, Falcons taking a very wide swing, trying to come at as many different angles as they do ascend down onto the zone. But this is where the pressure comes for a team like Zebra Master as well as the Hi-Fis. But I mean, Smokin', they just chilling up on the north. They also still have to relocate.
Okay, I think that now Hi-Fis need to just turtle it up. I think they need to look at Zebra Master and say, hey guys, you know, we got the Falcons on this side. We need to worry about them and we'll deal with each other later at this point. But they're starting to get pushed as well. This could be perfect opportunity for Team Falcons to start this push. Because look at this, Hi-Fis having an absolute all-out war, and the Falcons are just watching this, smiling as just chaos is happening inside these buildings. Hi-Fis are hurt.
Yeah, and I mean, it's going to be difficult to contest the amount of items that they've already been able to secure so far, but it does seem like Zebra Master are going to go do a little bit of cleanup in aisle 4 as they now make their way through the compounds, looking for cheeky pickups, but Falcons still winging it, still holding on to the edge of zone, and they're not going to relent whatsoever.
Oh my gosh, I was about to say, speaking of cleanups, Team Falcons are licking their beaks right now, just ready to pick at these Zebra Masters. They have a full squad spread out. Hey, don't count out Monkey though. They're on that edge. I mean, he's dangerous. You know, if Team Falcons, I don't think realize that he's in that position at all. I think they think the entire squad is in there. You can see them checking just to make sure. But if they run on the open, Monkey can come out from that off angle and disrupt them big time. So they gotta play this carefully. Ooh, great nade though. That hurt.
That's a very uncomfortable tickle that comes through on that one. But now, of course, IC still trying trying to do the due diligence here.
Needs to be
Just trying to
thought
sort it up.
Does he know he's there?
Not yet. Not yet. No Zed also just gonna be
got him.
looking.
Yes,
Come on.
copy.
They have to know he's there. Yeah, they have to know.
If
If not, then they got that fifth sense going. You can see them starting to push out there. Oh, he does go down. So that's high fives out. Here we go. Top two teams. Falcons do go down though. It's a 2v1 out in the open. He's gonna have to hit some crazy shots. But guess who's on top, baby? It's Team Falcons winning the first match of the day. The most hype squad coming into this. Second place in the global championship. They're on that new roster and ready to go beyond the top here.
I just gotta ask you one thing, right? What sound does a falcon make?
Or it's actually not gonna go. It's more like whatever, right? But you know what? I'll tell you what. Whatever sound, every single team in the lobby heard it. Because I mean, it's just so crazy that not only do they win the first game, but it's on Sanhok, which is not even necessarily like their most crazy map, right? So for them to start off with not just a chicken dinner, but a 14 elimination chicken dinner. Oof. I mean, these other teams are gonna pretty much have to rally together to take this guys down at this point.
Yeah. I mean, talk about marking your territory, right? That is exactly what the Falcons did. They just threw feathers all over the place. They claimed the spot, right? They said Sanhok is ours for the taking. And there's no surprise really to see them perform like this, right? We did see them back in PMGC also performing exceptionally well when it came to the map of Sanhok. So yeah, I'm super excited as for the outcome of this game.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see these next 5 games coming up because, like I said earlier, there's no real difference between second and 8th place. Right? You want to definitely make it in the top 8 so you could guarantee your spot in the future towards the prelims, right? But that first place gets you that direct invite to the finals. So it's going to be interesting to see because these teams know, right, where Team Falcons like to go. And it's going to be interesting to see where they have to really put themselves. But you know what, guys? We're going to be right back after this short break. Don't go nowhere. And we're back here as we got the highlights. So you can see how this game went down. And you can see the Moneymakers get some great shots. It was beautifully done. And man, I'll tell you what, this Falcon squad, they are ready, locked, and ready to go.
Yeah, but I gotta say, this is a really good start though. First match of the day, everybody turning up with the aggression. We did see so much carnage coming through here. And I mean, you said it before, right? Good warm-up, teams really getting those fingers all nimble and ready to rumble. So, yeah, we're expecting some pretty intense gameplay to come further as it progresses onwards. But high fives, really good possession that they had up in Paradise.
Oh yes, they did, dude. The Real Me highlights really showing what they can get done, especially against intense game. It's so crazy to see them last all the way to the end as a 4-man squad. Yeah, they got taken out, but that's because they were in the most dominant position, just getting shot from every single way. So I think they definitely need to hold their heads up high and just get ready to start some good old Erangel coming up soon.
I mean, we've got a heavy dose of Erangel. 3 matches back to back, so there's going to be a lot of opportunity to bring in quite a bit of change.
Oh, yes, indeed. Let's see here the damage that was done. Oh, my goodness. 2,500 damage, 14 eliminations. High fives were definitely working for it. They got that dozen, which is a great game, right? And the way that this format is, I can't stress it enough, right? It's all about first place, so they could definitely not let them pedal at all.
Yep, I mean, the pressure is going to be on sword. Good starting play here for Falcons. I mean, high fives, as you said. Also, when we look at Moneymakers, right? Securing themselves with 8 eliminations. They're also bringing in a really strong presence here. These damage counters, they are so steep. In excess of 1,000 damage, so that already speaks a lot to the aggression that we've seen out on the battlefield.
Yes, sir. Let's take a look here. As it is going to be high fives in second place with 17 total points, and it's going to be Team Falcons on top with 24. So I was a little bit earlier, DK, is the fact that, you know, since first place is so desperate, teams are going to know where the Falcons land. So I wonder if at a certain point a bigger stress for multiple
Then last
squads
one
are
not
going to be to
having
try to
some
take them out. So
एक
that way
गेममा
they can
कभर
still
हुन्छ
have a
उता
chance for that golden
छिटो
ticket. What do you think? Because they're now,
I
in my opinion,
कसरी
there's a
एड
big
गर्ने
target on their
विष्णु
back.
तिमीलाई चाहिँ
Yeah, I agree.
Parallel
I 100% agree with you on that one. I mean,
विष्णुलाई लिंक
especially
पठाइदेऊ
being a
त
team like Falcons,
Add
as you
for
said,
one.
right? They
Add
are a well-known team. There's so much
Viष्णु,
football
Viष्णु,
that
बत्ती काट्ने
looking at
मान्छेको
how
नम्बर
they
देऊ त
play,
भन्दैछ
where they
मलाई।
drop. So there's
Insta-
golden
Instagram
opportunity to try and contest
मा
them. But I
लिंक
think
पठाइदिन्छु
Falcons, they also up for the challenge, right? They
अनिखेर
just sitting around
त्यसमा
and
थिच ल
almost like begging the teams like,
कुन
I
लिंक
dare
अब
you,
त
पठाउने हो?
इराङ्गल ओइ
push me.
तिनवटा
I
इराङ्गल
want
रहेछ
to
त
free
अनि
them.
कुन लिंक पठाउने हो यो तिमीले
Sure,
लास्टमा
and
पठाएको लिंक
honestly,
पठाउने हो भाइ
I think
होइन,
you know,
माथिको
even
चाहिँ।
trying to get into a fight early on
माथिको
can be
चाहिँ।
dangerous because they're just so
माथिको
good.
चाहिँ।
फर्स्टमा
But
पठाएको
maybe just
फर्स्टमा
trying to
पठाएको होला।
land near where they land.
विष्णु मैले
try
तिमीलाई
to
लिंक
take them out of
पठाइदिएको
the
छु प्यारलल
rotation. I know
डाउनलोड
you- I
गरेर
know
आऊ
a
ल
lot of teams did their homework. Anything to disrupt them. And if you could do that earlier on, right? Let's say if you just go into this first Erangel. You know where they drop.
विष्णु मैले तिमीलाई
you
लिंक
camp their
पठाइदिएको छु हेर त
rotation And make them second guess themselves, right? That could disrupt them for the next two matches.
यिनीहरूको
So
त
I'm interested to
गेम
see if that
सकिँदा त
will
हाम्रो त यता
happen.
त
But you know, at the same
बिहानै
time, when you have
भइसक्छ
so
त अनि
much pressure, only 5 matches
रातभरि
left.
लाइभ
I wouldn't
गर्ने
be surprised if we see every team just kind of stick to
आदिमै छोडिदिने त बहिनी
But I think at least having a triple Erangel lineup is going to provide a golden
What
chance for teams to kind of
Yes,
rectify
yes,
whatever
yes,
doesn't
yes.
go exactly according to plan, either in match number one
गर्दिनी
or
म त बिहान
the
7
first
बजे
Erangel.
हस्पिटल
So
जान्छु
there's going to be
नसुती
several
हस्पिटल गएँ,
opportunities.
दिउँसो
As we know, of course, the zones are going to go in
Kiन
different
hospital
places, but I think Erangel will definitely be the map in which we see the teams really start to lay a super solid foundation moving through for the rest of the day.
You can see here
Yeah,
the
MVP.
100%. You can see here the MVP.
Handsome
Of
kid,
course,
1,
it's gonna
2,
be
3.
none other than Team
Well,
Falcons.
Newsnet भन्दा नि उस
Getting it done
top
there.
handsome
6
आउँछ लाग्छ।
eliminations, only 53 healing.
मनितालाई भनिदिन्छ
Man, this guy was just
त्यो
running around
भनेकै
having
त्यस्तो
fun at
भन्न
this point.
खोजेको
He's looking at
होइन
his
हौ।
highlights.
भन्नु
ठिक हो
थाहा छ बेबीलाई
कमेन्ट्री बन्द गरौँ न जुट्टी कसरी बन्द गर्ने यार बन्दै गर्न
अघि
मिल्दैन
बन्द गर्नु भएको थियो
And that's the crazy
Twin
part.
feed
is
होइन
it's not
नि त्यहीहरू
like
बन्द गर्न
Wi-Fi.
मिल्दैन
Just
के
having to push every single squad.
त्यो
And
युट्युबको
Team Falcons
वालामा
were
त त्यो
just in the
साउन्ड हुन्छ
perfect
नि दाइ
position, just taking down point
Speaker.
after point
हो
after point.
त्यसलाई चाहिँ घटाउनु त
I mean, it's going to
मिल्छ।
be pretty tough competition, right? Sanhok now done, dusted. Now it's time for a little bit of the bread and butter, right, that we are going to be taking a look at. And I'm curious to see whether, as you suggested, right, teams are maybe going to try and
Discord होइन
test their
हौ।
luck when it comes to the Falcons. Maybe we
Parallel
could see
मा
an
होइन,
early game
parallel मा।
disruption happening.
I want to, because honestly, I'm so tired of seeing teams just kind of stick to that same,
ए लुफी
same level of play, constantly just doing the same thing over and over. When you know what's at stake, you have to be able to adapt, in my opinion, right? Because
Oh,
you
Batu.
know that, hey, if we get top 8, that's great.
Get
But we
Batu.
need first place. So if we could do anything we could do to get that little extra
भयो?
edge or make that even a possibility,
बत्ती
that would
गयो
be huge. That would be huge. But you know
कहाँ
what,
गयो
guys?
बत्ती
Don't
लन्डनमा
go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break.
मोबाइलमा नि मिल्छ र बहिनी यो
मिल्छ मिल्छ हेर्नु त
ओहै
मिल्नु पर्ने हो
युट्युबमा जाने होइन त गएँ अनि
त्यही त्यो उसमा हुन्छ त तखरै मिल्नु पर्ने हो
खै त साउन्डको अप्सनै छैन स्टेबल भोल्युम छ एम्बियन्स मोड छ लुप भिडियो छ म्युट भनेर आएन कि
ए उसमा चाहिँ देखाउँदैन रहेछ फेरि
छ त छैन नि त त्यही भएर भने के छ बटु हालखबर र कहाँ हो तिमी युकेमा नि बत्ती जान्छ तोरी
होरको क्या होरको
ए होरको गयो भनेको बत्ती नोर्सा के गरी जोइन गर्ने रे प्यारलल डाउनलोड गर्ने लिङ्क थापालाई माग पठाइदिन्छ जोइन हुने
इमाडोलमा पनि बस्छु त अनि कसरी बत्ती गयो त होरको मात्र
क्लिन फिट हेर्नु त दाइ क्लिन फिटै छैन कसले दिन्छ र क्लिन फिट मलाई
मोटे राख्छ यार
बटु अनि के छ बिहे कहिले गर्ने हो
त्यति पासिन्छ बटा
केटी पाएन केटासँग गर्ने हो बटु
के हो मुझे पालन
अनि अब युके
के होला पालन
खैरिनीसँग बिहे गर न बटु
अब के होला पालन
खैरिनी खोजेर बिहे गर न बटु
अब त्यस्तो के गर्छु साथी
कि नगर्नी म जस्तै
त्यही भएर जानु मलाई पालन
नगर्नी बिहे
गर्छु
अनि गरेर त्यसपछि बटु
मिल्ने बटु
अब नेपाल कहिले आउने बटु नेपाल आएर मलाई नभेटिकन गयो यार
यो बस होइन अब
बिहेमा बोलाउने कि नबोलाउने बटु मलाई
यो बस होइन क्या
मलाई बोलाउने कि नबोलाउने
भयो पाला पुटा
नबोलाउने ओ बटु बटु कहाँ गयो फेरि हो बटु हेलो हेलो कसैको नि आवाज आएन बटु कहाँ गयो त भाग्यो क्या
बेको कुरा गरेर रिसायो होला
रिसाउँदैन कहिले नि विष्णु लगातार 3टा इरेङ्गल छ त
कफी बनाएर आएको म त अरे दामी छ त बिट त आयो बटु हेलो बटु
बटु कहाँ गएको भने
म्याच
सुरु हुनु लाग्यो मा बटु बिहेमा मलाई बोलाउने कि नबोलाउने भने
बोल्छु बाबा बोल्छु म्याच नले
म खोजिदिउँ केटी बटु म खोजिदिउँ
छ म छैन
हौ मुला रे मुला बटु च्यापमा अरे हैन
स्टार भयो रे कफी बनाएर खाएर भएपछि स्टार्टै भएन यार म्याच चाहिँ
बटु खाना खायो
खाना बजे 6 बजे छ
बटु बहिनी अचल
फोन दिजे होला के दिदी फोन आला
मलिकले फोन गरे जस्तो छ बहिनीलाई गाह्रो छ बहिनीलाई मलिकले फोन गरे जस्तो बटु
Welcome back Welcome back, everybody. Here we go. Getting ready for match number 2. And we're headed into Erangel. What you said earlier, right? It's the bread and butter of this game. So we're going to really see who deserves that first place spot. But like I said, I want to see things get mixed up a little bit. It's only one day. You know, there's not a difference in prize pool between 2nd and 8th. It's all about just qualifying, right? The only prize pool's given is to those players that don't make it, and that's not a prize pool you want. You want to get that big boy money coming up here soon. So hopefully we see some teams mix it up here soon.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to go for the consolation prize. You want to go for the big one. So, yeah, also got to give a big shout out for the Realme 12 Pro. It elevates your photography experience with the 120x super zoom and performance in games.
There we go.
How to be a portrait master.
भाइ के आएन भन्नु है
छैन
रुक्नु न स्टार्टै गरे भन्नु त फेरि अब
बटु
गइसक्यो
Hello.
Make it real, baby. Make it real and get ready to go as we get into match number 2. Here we go. We can start seeing these teams start to head on out. We're going to see 3 of these today and a couple Miramars to finish it off. So, you know what? I will say this. I think that teams should definitely go for their tried and true here and now. I think if you're feeling a little bit spicy, maybe try to camp the Falcons rotation. Maybe if you're nearby. But I think right now you just try to get those consistent points, get a feel for what everything's going on. If the Falcons do well in this game, I think that you're gonna have to try and stop them sooner than later.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. It's got to be your cue, right? I mean, you ever wondered when would be the right time to step up? Yeah, it would be, especially after the Falcons, if they have a good game here. Speaking about good game, though, Insanity happening right here in the early game. First Elam already secured. You can see Marlon not wasting a single moment. Surprising enough, though, the zone actually relatively spread out. Sure, there is a little bit of contention over here up in towards Rozhok, but looking at the rest of the spreads, I mean, the team is pretty well situated.
Yes, they are. So
Parallel download garu na Ashish dai parallel download
we're gonna
garnu
start seeing some knocks
download
already.
garnu yo link ma आउनु direct parallel खोलेर
all of the hi-fi. So this is going to be up in Rozhok here. Let's see how they opt to play this one. Silence is stuck at that tree. Like he's going to try to get this nade off. If he gets it, it'll be huge. And it does come on in, taps him up a little bit. That is going to allow him to be able to push up to this building. And here we go. It is a 2v2, extremely undiluted. This is a really tough fight here. He's going to have to hit all these shots. One shotgun blast and he's gone.
Ooh. But I think this is a super important play, though, for Insanity, right? They had a little bit of a bumpy start over on Sanhok, so the opportunity. Ooh.
I saw that push, and I just like, I closed my eyes for a second, and I started, you know, saying good.
Yeah, close my eyes for a second.
I saw that shotgun. There's not much you can do when you don't have a vest like that. So, yeah, I like the fact that, you know, Insanity are staying true to their name. They're just like pushing, playing aggressive. But this is going to be 2 games back to back where you go out really early. So I think after this, you definitely got to have to calm things down a little bit and put some points on the board.
Well, and I mean, they are going up against a pretty aggressive team, as we saw in Sanhok, right? Hi-Fi is coming through with those 12 Elams, so they've already set quite a bit of a standard for themselves. Insanity, pretty much on par with what we had over on Sanhok, but now, are they going to be able to kind of wiggle themselves out of the situation, right? I want to see all of them just try to apply as much pressure as they can onto Dream and Monkey. Hopefully, they could secure themselves those Elams and even more playtime.
Yeah, let's see what the plan is.
90 FPS हुन्छ नि त
And you can see Dream.
iPhone मा अलिकति smooth
trying to catch some angles. Yeah, Insanity with that knock. It's gonna be pretty huge here. They go for the push, and again that pump shotgun. just destroying the dreams of Insanity for now. They're going to have to get this knocked, though, really quickly. He's going to go for the open, hardcore pre-fire. High fives! That pump shotgun is just too deadly. Oh, test your own medicine, huh? How'd that feel?
I mean, the best response to a shotty is yet another shotty to come up through, but it's not over just yet. Beautiful throw there from Snowix.
Threaded the needle. That
अनि
was
सिधै
beautiful
मैले त्यो लिङ्कमा
indeed.
जोइन गर्ने तपाईँ आउने
A
त्यहाँनिर
beautiful
join
play,
गर्ने।
unfortunately, gonna lose 2 in the process. I wonder if
देखाउँछ त्यहाँनिर
Inko's gonna
त्यहाँनिर
push
फेरि
this.
डबल अर्को ट्याप हाल्नु न त्यहाँनिर
They could.
तपाईँले
They
बाहिरबाट
definitely
मात्रै
could, but I
हेर्नुभयो
think
होला
that
भित्र पनि
this
त्यहाँनिर फेरि
is always a
थिच्नु
difficult
अनि
push.
आउँछ
You know you're going
भित्र
right in the open. You don't have a lot of intel. You know what's at stake.
त्यो
And,
इन्भाइट
it does
इन्भाइट
like it
एसेट
is only
भनेर आउँछ होला
Vitaly
त्यो
here in
एसेट
this
गर्नु
position.
पहिला
So yeah, I
सुरु
think he's just gonna hold
एसेट
it. Try to
गरेपछि
see if
अनि
he can
फेरि
sneak
छिट्ने
shot off.
एकचोटि त्यहाँनिर
Well, it doesn't seem like the rest of Inko are going to be looking to reinforce just yet. We do see something on the horizon coming through from that southern side. So maybe Vitaly is just going to be waiting for reinforcements, a little bit of that backup before they look to apply the extra pressure.
Yeah, here they come, and here they are. And if they were paying attention to the feed, which I know they are, there's going to be 2 players only left for high fives. And if they realize that, I will not be shocked if they push this. Honestly, they really need to, right? Any point that you can get is going to be huge. They know exactly where he is, especially on that back bunker. Yeah, here they come. Inko looking to take advantage of this play, and this is why we talk about trying to avoid those initial like head-on fights as much as you can, because if you lose a couple players, you're going to get third party to take it out. And high fives, we saw them, right? Just a real scrappy team, able to kind of make it out of really tough situations. This one's looking really bad, and I think that's why we see Snowix already on the run.
Well, I mean, either on the run or a cheeky reposition, because looking at where Snowix is going, I think that could actually afford them quite an opportunity here. Well, Monkey, of course, is going to be looking to distract Inko as they push in, but now it's going to be go time. Monkey now has to bear all. As Inko, they just going to break down doors and rush on in.
You know what? I guarantee you, Monkey's telling him, I'm safe. Come to me. You know what I'm saying? Monkey's like, I'm safe, dude. Come here, help me out. I got him. You know, no, he's not. He's saying, run for your life. Oh! He does it again. He said, come on down. Oh, he gets knocked. He has to make it happen with a jump shot. Oh, and he gets another knock. So huge. 3 elimination. Oh, actually, no, Vitaly from the Eagle gets him down. Oh, but he does take a couple with him. Heck, I mean, that's best case scenario, I think, when you know you're going to go out, right? At least get a couple points.
I mean, that was a beautiful strat though, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, high fives, they set it up, beautiful off-angle play coming through there from Snowix, but Vitaly just taking it. I mean, what a change-up that was. Speaking about change-ups, quickly go on to Zebra Master to see if they can maybe bring something in here onto the side. Of course, the opponents, right? We've got even more players just hiding in the wings up ahead, and the pressure keeps on building. Faction Brazil not really feeling any heat just yet.
Oh,
no, they are not. I'll tell you what, man. That was the play so far of the tournament. That 1v3 was beautiful.
I know.
And if he was able to get that finish, it could have been, you know, it's solidified as the play of the tournament so far. But you know what? We'll see what happens next. High Fives did go out with 6 eliminations, so that's pretty good. You know, at least to make it into top 8, but that's not going to be good enough for first place. We do see
ए भगवान त्यो हामीलाई पठाउने रिक्वेस्ट छैन के दाइ तपाईले जोइन गर्ने बित्तिकै त्यहाँनिर एसेट भएर आउँछ अनि त्यहाँ भित्रपट्टि हामी रुममा देखाइरहेको हुँदैन त्यहाँनिर ट्याप गरेर जोइन मात्र हान्ने हो केही गर्नु पर्दैन
तिमी यसो गर आशिष भाइ यासियारा काका म त गुलमरी खाक्चिले तकदिरी यामरी हाना त टिसमुलारो
on the map. So no surprises here for these teams.
Nice.
So this is where I think the position of Zebra Master might be a slightly better one that we've got here for Faction Brazil, because we've got all these high grounds surrounding Faction's current positioning. And I mean, if you look over onto Zebra, they can just peer in all the way from up on that church hill and just bring so much pressure into whoever's going to be looking to contest, especially coming in from this eastern side or western side.
Oh, nice little shift on over towards Gatka. That's going to be an interesting one there. So let's see, as the Ted's game are going to get pretty blessed in this position. This could be a good opportunity to put some points on the board. Meanwhile, the squad that we were looking at, Team Falcons, right, are all the way near Novo. So they're going to have to push on up. Meanwhile, Faction Brazil just waiting to see which teams are going to try to run out in the open, and that was going to be Zebra Master losing 2. That's going to be tough.
Well, it is going to be a pretty hairy place to go. As you can see, men are also just hiding that vehicle away, but now up comes the opportunity for Faction.
Here comes the Faction in the hole of the Franzo. Who's the breathed pants?
Just rotating on up, but I think this is where we are going to be seeing quite a bit of heat now starting to be drawn up into the lovely Picard up ahead. But here we go, Faction. Gotta watch these angles, though.
Yeah, they gotta watch them, but they're pretty safe here, right? Slaughterhouse.
They're pretty safe here in the squad house, and there is a Neil house in the carpet
open air. You can see any team pushing at you from any direction. That's why you see them a little bit split up. The only real weak spot is this garage right here. So if that warehouse does get pushed on, they're gonna be in trouble. But if they're able to hold it down, I mean, it's a really, really solid position on this map. It's kind of hard to leave though, if the zone does shift in the opposite direction.
Yeah, that's going to be one to see, though. I mean, we're still some ways away from our stage 3, so lots can still happen in the meanwhile. You can see Gizmo starting to spread out. Zebra also now trying to utilize as much of the available space, but when you go on to the players here from Royals of War, they're going to have a little bit of company knocking on their door potentially.
Yeah, right now they're just going to be holding down these blues.
Why YouTube
The great part about this place is that, you know, if the zone does shift in any direction, you have a pretty good rotational path to try and at least get there. So they're not in a bad spot yet, but they don't want to move unless they have to. Just trying to find their best position. A little bit late actually pretty late. They're way on the edge of the circle, so they're still rotating on the edge. And little do they know that they got the Falcons creeping up behind them, and this could be a strategy for the Falcons, just knowing that, hey, you know, we already got so many points in Sanhok, we know what we're capable of. Right now, let's just be consistent. Put some points on the board.
Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with a little bit of that shock and all play coming through, but I think a big challenge also then for Be Bold is going to be Ruch. That is going to be applying pressure from on the edge of that. So you can see Ruch also now starting to push up a little further down towards that southern side. So it actually opens up a great rotation pathway now for the Falcons to get themselves established.
Yeah, let's see how they opt to play it. Oh, and they get a pretty good
They don't
really have to go too far. You can see them just trying to get healed up, prepare for their battle, playing it very, very cautiously here. And this is what the advantage of having such a strong first game really gives to you, right? You could just kind of just play it out, put some solid points on the board, and just continue to just hold on to that first place for the rest of the day.
But Jukes, then talking about holding on, right? I think for Smoke also that southern hilltop that we just saw them on, that is also going to allow them quite a bit of a vantage point, especially looking at the sheer number of teams we have that are yet to rotate on forward. I mean, speaking of it, here we go. It is going to be Miyaki just stacking in some heat.
You can see him trying to get that car 98 shot out of the vehicle. Meanwhile, we got Myth popping him out. Indeed, you can see them trying to head to that little pipeline right there on the edge of the map, but they are just picked apart. And Team Falcon seem to always come to the right place at the right time. Gonna go ahead and steal one of those eliminations right there. Actually, maybe they don't. No, they don't. So I thought they did end up getting that, but it wasn't.
Yeah, they tried to swoop in, but they just missed the play. Now it's gonna be Miyaki up on the hill. Nice multi shots raining in across the way. I see. Ooh, this could be tricky. Come on.
Come on. Yeah, we need it. We need that bolt action buff, because that would have been so high if we got that there. Oh, make sure to like, gracious. Meanwhile, you see Top and the Falcons go ahead and start to take that pipeline position. These buildings are a very, very, very strong spot. Because if the zone heads towards Pachinki, you just head right up that hill, disrupt any team that's there. Let's see what happens though. Where's that next circle gonna go? Meanwhile, we do have quite a few teams, and it does look like Falcons, instead of going towards that border, are gonna head into the outer edge of Pachinki.
I know. Well, they're gonna have to really try and blaze their way
भर्खर
get a
जोइन
good
भएको त अनि
foothold moving in here. I mean, I gotta say, I honestly like the zone.
Falcons
Setting up
top,
like this up onto
Nirjet knock by
Pachinki, but a
Katsan.
quick little trade
Alex
going on
Kill
to be
चोर्दैछ
balled out in the
TGM मा
open.
आइला चलाउन नआउनेले
Mikey
नचलाउनु नि
definitely looking to pick up
यतिखेर
as
सम्म
many
मैले दुई
pieces
तीन
as they
knock
can, and of
हान्छु
course now Falcons just welcoming B-Bold up into the zone.
निर्जितलाई
Absolute
बचाएको हेर्नु नि
carnage.
त्यहाँ
All the utilities now starting to fly on forward. But I mean, looking at Falcons here, Jukes, they just chilling, right? Looking so confident on the edge there.
कस्तो ठाउँमा बसेर
Yeah,
Cool,
unfortunately they
damage
did lose
खाँदैछ
two
त
players,
जोनबाट
so that's going to be pretty tough. But at the same
Mafia.
time, you know,
हेर
they do
पुरै
have some
रुइन्सबाट
major
रोटेसन
players
हानेर
still up
यतापट्टि
top, being
स्कुलको
one of them.
पछाडिपट्टि आइदिएको भए
Oh, they are
कस्तो
going to
दामी
maybe
थियो
even
यार
get this res off. So
हेर त
I
जोन
thought that he was gone.
केटा हो रोटेट हान
He
तिमीहरू
crawls
त्यहाँ
his way
जानै
up.
पर्ने
Beautiful
हुन्छ
smoke wall
दिस
there
इज माई
from
लास्ट
Falcons, and they get a
के भन्छ
very
त्यसलाई
favorable
Call.
circle shift. So they
Move,
don't
get
have
out,
to
move,
go too
right-बाट
far.
move,
That's
and
going
get
to
out.
definitely help them out big time. But all those teams,
स्ल्याम नाम
oh, you can see them there on that northwestern side are going to have to start pressing up against each other.
केटा हो राइटबाट
Yeah.
मुभ
I mean,
हान
talk about opportunities. I think
Left
Gizmo,
I
know,
they
INB
are
लाई
just
use हान्दैछ
so,
कि
so
knock
primed
हान्दैछ कि
for
दाइ
whatever the
यहाँ
zone is
तीनटा
going
स्क्वाड
to bring
भइसक्यो
to
के
them. In the
छोडिदिने हो
meanwhile, Death Wolves though knocking on
अब
the
यहाँ third
door,
party हान्छ हेर्नु
trying
न
to
अब
get a beautiful play as they come in onto the players here from Invictus. But yeah,
party
Echo
भन्नाले
also going to get backed up. So
जोन
many
जाने हो
teams
के जोन
feeling
म्याटर
the
गर्छ
pressure,
यहाँ किल सिल
feeling
म्याटर
the
गर्दैन
plays.
जोन जाऊ
And
केटा
with that,
चिकन
we're down
खानुपर्छ
to only 12 now remaining. Invictus, I mean, what
भने
a
मान
quick
कि
sweep
भने
that
मान्नु
was.
कि हया खानु कुदिहाल
So fast, and that's perfect timing there.
तपाईँले यहाँ बोलेर फेरि उनीहरूले बुझ्ने पनि होस् है भन्दै जान्छन् होला फेरि
And they are still
Molly
outside
Blue,
of the
ए
circle.
बुढो
They're
कति
gonna
करा
have to push in
भन्छ
here
कि
top, using Blue Zone to his advantage. I love this. He's going to be
Yeah,
throwing
पनि
all
अति
that
छ नि।
utility there, and he does get that knock. So just apply that pressure, let the Blue Zone do the work
जोन
for
गएपछि
you.
जोन जाऊ है
But it's
केटा हो
really up
अहिले
to him to
भनेको मैले फेरि
gatekeep an
नेपाल आउने
entire
बित्तिकै एयरपोर्टमा मैले
squad.
टुप्पी समाउन
And they're
परोस्
gonna, if they come in one by one, they're not going to stand a chance. They
Yanako.
really have to work together here on this push.
Yeah, it's going to be safety in numbers, at least to some extent, but now it's going to be
हेर न
David.
यार
Ooh, getting
कस्तो
picked
खेल्छ
up
यार
as well.
कसम
So slowly, top just
Just
hacking
taking
away at the side here of B-Bold.
खै त आशिष
But pretty tough position to play. Meanwhile, Moneymakers also
कस्तो
going to be
अघि
feeling the
गयो
heat. As you can see, Icy taking
Ashish
quite
to
a bit
बोले
of
न
damage
त।
here. Smoke Gaming trying to push in. They want those
आयो।
points on board. They do
आयो।
get yet another knock. And
तिमीलाई
Moneymakers
ब्याचलर
now
पढ्ने
down to
मान्छेलाई
2-8.
प्यारलाल जोइन गर्न नआउने नि हुन्छ
Just
मलाई
so much pre-fire here. Smoke do end up losing another player, so here's a
के भएको
त दाइ टप रुममा
2v1
ट्याप गर्नु
position
मैले
here
त्यही
on
अघि
this
त्यही
edge.
भन्छु त्यो टप
Myth
रुममा
might even go for the 1v1 though.
ओइ सटगन त्यत्रो
Does
जिगलमा
have
हान्छ
the
त
high
त्यसले त
ground. He's got to
ओइ
be careful. Here come those crouch shots.
ओइ
That buggy just doing
Oi.
such a great
Amma,
job
amma,
of
amma,
supporting
amma,
him, and he
control
does
zero
get that
हानेको।
knock.
नफेर भाइ तिमी चाहिँ ड्रपै
I mean, that
लुटेर
was
बस
an
है
essential play,
जोन
though.
नजाउ
I mean,
ल
especially for the Moneymakers. They were
I know, June
relying
to
on
go
that
मैले भनेर
survivability
ठाउँमा
to
गइसक्यो
happen right
तिनीहरू
there.
हेर
And
न
unfortunately for them, I mean, Smoke
Sunny
Gaming,
to Sunny
right?
fast
They just got them out of that hole,
तपाईँको
sent them
छ
right
12
on
point
back to the
Confidence
meatball,
is
looking up onto the
चुन गर
northwest side
भनेको
of
यहाँ
zone.
पुगेका तिनीहरू
It's going to be the Royals of War
त्यो डाँडा
trying to get their way into this. But I mean, I like this position here from Hurrah. Right,
Hurrah!
up in Headshot
That's
Hills.
from the
So
Hurrah!
many angles to try and play off of.
100%. That's why I love their position. Is like no matter where the zone goes, they're gonna have a path on him.
Shoot,
But they're
shoot,
definitely have to
shoot,
fight their way
Mamba.
through it. And Royals of War.
Morris mother
Oh, going for the run over. And it looks like they do end up getting it. And the Wolves in
माम्बै रहेछ नि
screaming
माम्बालाई
towards the
बोलाउ
sky
न
right
बहिनी
now.
कहाँ छ
There's
माम्बा
only one player left, and he is done for. So great push there from
अहिले
Royals of War.
दाइ
एक किल हानेछ ओरले
Yep, that's what you got to do. You got to get the rush in. Speaking of rush, just though,
Did you get
intense
it?
game. Now also going to try and capitalize on
Yeah,
the
you
goal
can see it,
no,
opportunity,
bhai.
but instead it's going to be CeeLo to get taken on
see,
down.
no.
Zeus Boy, Rafa, the rest of the crew. Really got to watch these angles.
30 लाख
Will
पुराइदिउँ
be able
त
to secure
पुराइदिउँ
it in though. I
पुराइदिउँ
mean, Whales of War, they
30
just
होइन 40
absolutely
50
pumping on the
पनि
adrenaline.
बढाउँ
You can see them now just
Offline
moving all over the
गरिसक्यो
place,
त
trying to
बुढो
get
त
these angles
यो,
secured.
29
Who knows?
मिनट
I'm looking to see this fight now break out between the two.
Oh yeah.
जुन परेन नि दाइ
Drive that
चर्चतिर
truck around
गयो
and
नम्बर
take out some
बोलायो
more
नि
players, using it to just get some of that, some angles, get some
बोलाउ न।
information, trying to play it
Oh my
safe as
God.
possible.
बनाउनु।
They're outside of the circle, so they know they
चर्चमा त्यो
have to
कार्पेट लिएर
rotate.
जाउँ न
But
निन्जा यार कार्पेट
always
दिएन
this is the hardest part of PUBG Mobile, is timing, right? You have to decide, when do we decide to push into the edge? Do we want to go early? Do we want to go late? And I don't blame them for trying to go late in this position. Intense game with a crazy rotation. Do end up finding a spot safely, pretty central in the circle. So that's going to work out for now. And then now, meanwhile, Gizmo going to have to make a play here on top. As Intense game got their DBSs out and ready to take this building.
त्यही भरेको राखेको छ ग्यास
Well,
खेलेर
they're gonna unpack all the gizmos they have in their bag. Bro, just trying to clear out that staircase. I mean, this is a tough play though. Bro, they're gonna have to make some magic happen here, right? 1v3 up in the compound, the rest of the team just holding up on that hillside. Not quite sure whether or not we are gonna see Gizmo
I know,
or
you're
have
live,
Bro
man.
survive this position. In the meanwhile, everybody else still trying to get themselves secured as they move in. Up comes the push though. Intense. Slowly making progression up the way.
Play here, bro. It's gonna come down and just keep disrupting them little by little. You saw him place that gas can right there by that door. So he placed the gas can right there near that for that door to blow it up in case they do try to push up again. Meanwhile, you got Zebra Master applying pressure on both of these teams. I think if you're intense game, honestly, at this point, I wouldn't even mind having Gizmo on that roof. Just have him on the roof. Just focus on everybody else. Deal with him if the zone shifts. Because right now, you got to worry about just every other player in the wake.
I mean, even faction Brazil also now starting to get involved. They slowly tap across the way. Their teammate also, NTS, also trying to just make up for a bit of ground there, but Zebra Master getting played up onto This could be that opening for Bro. I'm not quite sure if they are aware of what is unfolding down below. Setting out the utilities. Frog going for the pickup.
नेपालको रिप्रेजेन्ट गरे हो त केटाहरुले हो र रिप्रेजेन्ट गरे हो र भने
It looks like so.
गो तिमीलाई जोक जस्तो लाग्छ मेरो कुरा
Gameplay here is we're right in the middle of Pachinki. I do love urban finishes because it just gets so
नेपालको
intense
झण्डा रातो र चन्द्र सूर्य जंगी निशाना हाम्रो
रंगी निशान भन्नु
three eliminations for him. One elimination so far, 3 players. I'm going to be on that other edge. Bro, still up here. Trying to survive. Four now with 4.
ओए कस्तो नराम्रो देखेको यसलाई
Oh, actually, but yeah, that is going to be them going out. So we're going to see 9 teams remaining, and here comes the push from Intense Game. Bro, holding down this angle. Yes. Make something happen. An intense game. Every time they push, they just lose a player. So it just gets delayed time and time again.
Just looking at this whole position here, the rest of the Gizmo team, they're going to have a pretty tough time, I would say, defending if Intense were to maybe make up some ground here. But they still have a little bit of a safety barrier that is coming through from the shots from Zebra. The rest of the Gizmo team are going to be focusing their way up onto the shoot. Not trying to hold any advances coming through here from Faction Brazil, potentially even plays there for but still,
Hare Krishna लेखौं च्याटमा भएको छ सबै मेरो प्यारा दाजुभाइ तथा दिदीबहिनीहरु Hare Krishna राम राम Hare Krishna राम
Taking him
राम
out from across the way, so Gizmo able to ruin Intense Game, and let's see. I think they're gonna go and try to make that cross and pick him up. Here they come in that buggy, full sending it. This is very risky, and it looks like he does get process.
जोन तान्छ केला हो त्यही बस चुप लाएर बस है धेरै माया कन्डन हुन्छ
it just became a little bit heavier.
I know.
Yeah, sometimes you just get at the end.
5 किलो
Also, still having to push through here. They're looking now to just inch their way through, sneaking up from that southern side of Pachinki.
बाले आएर हल्ला कहाँ हल्ला गरिरहेको त्यही डर छ हैन मलाई निर्जल
Just erupting close towards Center's arm. But this way I'm getting a little bit worried. Looking at a team like Smoke, right? Exposed on the edge, and they still have a
खेल्थे नि त म यहाँबाट तलसम्म सुन्निने चोर भनेर खुकुर लिएर निस्किन्थ्यो रे हो यो तलको घरकोहरु बाउलाई भोलिबल त कुरा लगाइदिएर यार
Yaki. Oh, nice shot. Quick peek. That's going to be 8 eliminations for Smoke Gaming.
Hara Hare
Good
Krishna.
one for them. And now we're going to see they've been creeping their way up ever so slowly, very sneakily, into this Pachinki position due to that zone shift. They do realize that if the zone keeps going in this direction, they're going to probably have to take that church up on top. But at the same time,
सही ठाउँमा छ किल उठ्ने ठाउँ
ears are definitely perked and getting
दायाँ
ready to
बायाँ
go here
नहलिकन
as we
कन्डो
are about
एकदमै
to
ठाउँमा राख्ने
head into stage 7.
दाइ भनिसु यहाँ के
कन्डो भने ढाड हो बहिनी
Yeah, a lot of teams, not a lot of action at the current moment. I see.
Malik Pena MVP
Nades in hand there. Maybe prepping for a little bit of a surprise play. You see top also just
chicken
running
chicken
them ears.
8 किलो उठाइसक्यो
The Falcons, as
SMK
you
ले
said,
त
right, inching their way forward, coming through on this eastern side. Still a lot of opposition up ahead. Zebra Master, I mean, they've been just playing such an opportunistic position here. Every time they spot an opportunity, they get up, they lay the shots, they drop back down. So I'm curious to see whether or not Falcons will be able to maybe just push them out of that position. But maybe the zone could have some other plans.
पठाएको वाला
Yeah, it's gonna be tough though. They only have 2 players up and 1 elimination, so they do have a great position, but they don't really have the players to support it. So I think they're trying to play
NCCS
just very quietly here, just get some consistency on the board, and then come back here for the next one because these teams up on top are very well set up.
ए बताओ उस
Haru's gonna be one of them.
who हो र माफिया हिल गर
Trying to get those shots. Oh, gets beat up quick, peek back, and survives a little bit longer. This next zone,
केटाले चिकन हान्यो
perfect shift
लास्टमा छिर
for all of these
एकदम
teams.
calm
So
and
they don't gotta
composed
move a
gameplay देखाउ
muscle.
केटा हो
It's just some more hurry up and wait.
चर्चमा जोन छ त दाइ छिलो
Yeah,
त
unless
Don't
you
sorry,
part of the
कत्रो
Hura
साउन्ड
team, right? You still have a little bit of ground to cover. moving
ठुलोसोले
against
बोल्यो
that
भने मेरो
northern side.
गाड
I
हान्छ
think,
दिदी
looking at the angle that they are taking to get in
like
here,
Anam
there's a few limited options, right? They're gonna obviously try and play for that
भेनाको त
Trojan
0 किल
position,
रहेछ
as I think that would be a very wise call to make at this point. But looking at Faction Brazil,
र चर्चमा एकजना मात्रै छ केटा हो पुस हान्दै हो
definitely
मारेपछि
will
जोन
not want
सबै हाम्रो
them rushing up onto that position.
त्यो एफपीआर ले पुश हाल्ला नि त दाइ
Hurrah indeed.
केटा हो चर्चमा जोन एउटै छ म मेसेज गरेर
तिनीहरूसँग
आउँछु
राम्रो जोन
मलिकलाई
चाहिँ के पुसान्छ
Unfortunately, they would have just kept all 3. and
गेम
this is
सकिसक्यो
they
होला
would've
दाइ
been
के
so set
यसो
up,
जोन
but
हुन्छ
सकिरहेको नि लाइभमा
sometimes you gotta
त
take that
एकदम
bet.
अन
You know, you
पोइन्ट
really want first place. You
Ke
के अरे
want
फोन
your whole
दिँदैन नि
team.
Yeah.
That 2-2 split was going to be tough, and
फोन
hopefully
छुट्टै
that's a
हुन्छ
lesson
अनि
they learn. You know,
फोन
it's just
राख्ने ठाउँ पनि
unfortunate that it
छुट्टै
has to be
राख्दै
learned
हुन्छ
here
अरे
at the height of the stage.
हो र
And right now, Faction Brazil looking really good. Lots of angles, 3 players still alive, looking to make things
चर्चमा
happen.
पुस नोफेर
Hurrah, they do have the most
नोफेरलाई
players
अगाडि
up. The only
पठाएर
team with
मलिक
4,
पछाडि बसेर
and they're
स्काइमा
going to
गयो,
start
गयो, गयो,
pushing
गयो।
here
गयो
in a
गयो
couple
दाइ
seconds on
ओ
to
मलिकलाई पछाडि
Gizmo.
राख
Last player up is Hugo. If they're able to secure
यसको
this
अनिखेर
church,
टाउको बडो
they're going to be in a great position for the rest of this match.
रातो रगत निकाल्यो त
100% agree with you on that.
दाइ स्केम
Yep,
Oh.
pressures now on
ग्रेनेड
Hugo.
खेलौ नजाऊ त्यसरी अगाडि
Blaze
छ
coming through.
अगाडि हो नाइस
Hurrah.
नाइस
Starting
ग्रेनेड
to
हो
do
र
their due diligence. One
Tapai
day
केटा हो
could end it here for Gizmo.
सकाई सकाई भाइ
Hugo
त्यही
about to
छ
get
सकाई भाइ
pushed. Up comes Sky. Oh,
त्यही छ,
quick
देखे,
step,
देखे,
PBS
देखे,
in
देखे,
hand.
देखे देखे
This could be it.
Tom.
Oh,
दुईटा मक हाल्यो
Oh, wait, he got a double?
wow.
No way. This is
के
crazy.
भनेको
We're seeing this happen time
Chill,
and
chill,
time
get out,
again. Where it's
chill,
just one
chill.
player up against a full team, and there's putting
I'm
in work.
talking
That
about
just goes to show you
Sorry.
the level that we're
जोन
playing.
चर्चमा जोन
You
चर्चमा
know,
त
just because it's just one
जोन
player
हामीलाई
up,
आउँछ भाइ जोन
you
हामीलाई
cannot slip. You know, because any team could just think, oh yeah, it's one
जोन
player
जोन
go
छ
in
केटा हो
2v1.
जोन
We'll
छ
cover the
50
backside.
छ 10
You
मिटर
know? No, send the whole squad just in case. Because if they sent just those 2, both of them are gone.
Falcon को
Thirsty instantly.
Yeah, no, that would have been the
Makes
end
sense.
right then and there. But speaking about the end,
see.
though, that zone shift
आइसी स्कॉट हो
pulling in favor.
हो त्यहाँ एउटा मात्रै छ
Absolutely.
निजा ग्रेनेड हान अन पोइन्ट
I think Falcons,
फेर
they are also going to
भाइ
be
मेरो भाइ
smiling from
त्यसो
ear to
नगर
ear
न
because now they
लास्ट
know that Hurrah and the team surrounding them will have to just creep their way even closer up in towards the zone. So I think Faction Brazil, Hurrah, they're going to be in for a very tough ride.
Yeah, you know, Team Falcon's always so dangerous. You can see Top up on top of the roof. So he's in a really good position here. The only problem is that with Hurrah's spot right now, you know, if they got knocked, they're able to get the rest. The problem is though, they can't get knocked right now because the zone is starting to creep up on them. They have to leave, and it's going to be tough. Yeah, they're going to have to do it with some vehicles. That is going to be the way because they got to push down very rapidly, and they're most likely going to break into one of those buildings where the Falcons are. But if the Falcons are smart, they'll be ready to get little by little,
दामी
and that's what they do. They apply that pressure. They don't let them
सबजना
get
चार
them.
चार
They
गरेर
don't
एक्जाममा
let the building right in
बस्छ
front of
ग्रेनेड
them.
आउँछ केटा हो
Yep, I mean, they can just have their way with him.
भनिरहेको छु त
ला
सकाई
Beautiful nade here from Nose, just peeking in. Next one going up top, not quite finding anything at this point, but this is a great opener now.
होइन
coming
त्यो
through
के
for
हो
the Falcons.
छत छतमा
Oh yeah, they're gonna stick this out. They're gonna keep this team until they're all done for. They realize how it is. There's Top getting
उसमा
a
युट्युबमा हेर्नु
huge nade elimination, and that's just picking off the squad with the most players up. And just like that, it's now even with Team Falcons. Man, this squad is so good at just having one player go up against an entire team and just disrupt them entirely.
We're not even surprised to see what's happening at this point, but let's see just how far the Falcons are going to look to push this one. Already coming into this match, they sat on 24 points, only 2 eliminations for now, but we've hit stage 9, right? No more zone, no more closures other than the blue. That is it. This is the final push for everybody left in the zone.
That is right. This zone is going to dwindle down into nothing, and you can see it starting to close. Here they go. It is Zebra Master. They do have the most central spot, so they're able to gatekeep a little bit. But one wrong step, and you're getting knocked. This nade could be huge. Lay down nades are so deadly. He goes and he does hop up a little bit, misses the nade at the last second. And now he's going to have to do it with his gun skill.
I mean, talk about a oops, right? That was a oopsie right there. Not quite sure if Zebra Master is going to be able to recover from that now. It is going to be up to Sanhok.
Meanwhile, Zebra Master going to go ahead and start popping down, taking out players with that DBS. Team Falcon's still alive. He's trying to get those reses off, but it's not going to be able to happen as they come on down. The knocked player gets knocked in return as the Team Falcons still survive for now. It's now Team Rock time to push, and they do, only to get knocked by Faction Brazil.
Falcons not out of it just yet, right? Still stepping up to the plate. Now it is down to a 1v1. Getting ended icy. Down they go.
I thought Icy got to that car. I really thought he got there safely, but just gets shot at the last second, and a huge chicken dinner. You can see the relief on Faction Brazil's faces. These guys are pumped, and this was a must-need win for them. You can see that little fist bump right there, and that exhale. That just lets you know what these guys are feeling.
I mean, what a bounce back though, coming in through Faction here, right? They got a 1 elim in game number 1. Now they end themselves in spot number 1. What a bounce back, but what an insane play. I mean, down to a 3v3 to have the chicken decide a 1v1v1. Insane.
Oh my gosh, you saw him go. That's just so like, yes, and then, oh my gosh, that was tough. You know, and that's what these players are feeling, but it's still so
consistency matters. Second matter
once again, it's just absolutely ridiculous. As we go ahead and take a look at the highlights from this first Erangel match. Match number 2, and there's only 4 more to go. Oh, there was actually a night finish?
Wow. Yeah, right at the get-go. I mean, you got the weapons, right? You got to make a plan. But yeah, I think this was a very, very exciting play that we had right here up into the edge of Mazon. I mean, upset upon upset upon upset coming through here.
Absolutely. You know, we saw vhai's do a great job of just making things happen. Beautifully played here. Knocked from the side and instantly run out. Monkey with that 1v pretty much 3 in that scenario. It was a double, but then Vitali cleaning him up with that DP. It's beautifully done. That DP so powerful. Meanwhile, Team Falcons, we saw them just pushing forward. It's so hard to take this game completely.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it requires a lot of blue zone damage near the end. I gotta say though, Smoke Gaming also really stepping it up this match, right? We did see that super aggressive play that they made over on towards the Moneymakers. A little bit of run me over action also then coming through here, as we did see the Wheels of War having their hand in a little bit of an upset.
I think Wheels of War played that pretty well in that position. Pushing out, getting some nice eliminations. This was an interesting one for me. You know, Gizmo, they decided to go for this 3-1 split, and I think sometimes that can be a tough position because it's so difficult for one player to hold that spot, especially when you have vehicles you know that are going to push in that direction. They go for that res, lose the player, and then just got taken out bit by bit here. And then here's that final, that end gameplay where it was just absolute madness.
No fear.
The
तर त्यति
madness
बसे
didn't
भयो
stop
भने चाहिँ
there.
माबे
This was
निन्जा
that
राइट
play,
साइडतिरै
right? I see.
वाचे गराएर नि त
So,
तिनीहरुकोले
so
Who's
close.
saying that?
Quick pick up over on
I
towards
know.
Malik.
No, they saying that.
Here we have it. I mean, if it wasn't for that extra bit of blue zone damage, I mean, things could maybe have come out slightly different. But I mean, looking at the damage graphs, right? This was a
सबसे
super
बढी
active
ड्यामेज हो
match.
र अर्को के
Oh, 100%. Look at that.
Sucks
Faction
at
Brazil
that.
ending up with 1,500 damage.
Atkin.
Hoorah! Ending up with 1,700. 8 eliminations between 3 different teams. Very, very good division, I think, amongst eliminations when it comes to just looking at this graph and that last game in general.
Yeah. I mean, a few teams also chomping on some bubbles, as we saw there. Invictus still managing to find a little bit of damage along the way, but Hi-Fi's, again, backing in some decent elims, right? Picking up the 6 there and also amounting all the way up to 1,136 damage.
100%. I can't wait to
Sabe-
look
sabe आउँछ है।
पूरा second round.
I want to see
0
where
point
everyone is.
0
I mean,
point
Hi-Fi is doing a
एकदम
great job at trying to solidify themselves in that top 8.
18 भन्दैछ त
As you look
अघि
here at that match ranking, they get some good points. I mean, it just goes to show you, right? Those
Hey,
early
that's the
eliminations,
Falcon
even though they went
money.
out so early,
Everybody
they
takes
still
it
ended
out.
up in that top 7.
Yeah,
Why
I mean,
not?
eliminations
I
definitely is
don't
going to
know. Kill uठाएन नि त
quite a bit.
दिदीले
Speaking about
के भन्न
rewards,
खोज्यो के
though, right?
भइदिएर है
You gotta
I
commend
didn't want to
Faction
run out again.
Brazil.
मैले त्यो total
Phenomenal,
points
phenomenal play here. 8
किन
eliminations,
second भएको थियो
18
नि त
points in total. That's gonna add on to the points they got back in match number 1, which was what? So 19 points going their way in total.
Very, very well done. They put themselves in a great position. Brown just started going towards their way, and they were able to finish it out. I was a little scared for them towards the end. I think if IC did make it to that car, it could have gotten really interesting. So really heads up play for Faction Brazil to finish it out before it even got to that.
Yeah, and of course, as we look a little bit further down the board here as well, Invictus, unfortunately, gonna go back to the bags for the donut, not finding anything this match, but we still have 2 more, two more matches to go for them to try and potentially maybe make up a bit of ground here.
That's right, that's right. 2 more Erangels, 2 more Miramars coming up. So that's only 4 more matches. And we're going to see where everybody lines up here at the end of this. It's gonna be huge. And, we do see some good points there early on, but I'll tell you what,
PUBG Mobile
Zebra Master
PUBG
actually ends up with the MVP spot. All right, Miramar beautifully executed there. He had 3 eliminations. Just overall, just great stats across the board.
Yep. I mean, you got to say though, I think what helped quite a bit here for Zebra Master was that position that they were holding right just here. I mean, such an angle to work off of.
Yeah, as you can see, some of his clips here, his highlights, using those nades to his advantage. He was playing that outer edge of that circle, just disrupting that fight. Oh, that nice little jumping 180. Yeah, I remember this. We saw the edge of that during the game. He just did a great job of just soaking up all of those points. And you can see here again, the last matches of the day and of this qualifier finals coming up. It's always tough when it's only one day, right? Because if you're just having a little bit of an off game, you're done. You go home and you gotta wait for the next event. So hopefully, we see some teams able to rally their squads. That's what the leader is being all about. When you have a first couple of rough games, how do you bounce back? And honestly, now's the time or never.
Yeah, because I think especially once we hit match number 4, whatever they haven't been able to achieve at that point is just going to become even more difficult to do, leading into the final bit of the day.
As we take a look at the overall standings, and you can see right there, right? Hi-Fi is able to get into second place with 23 points. Team Falcons with 36 is huge, considering that it's only been 2 matches. They're now in that position to where all they gotta do is play consistent for the rest of the day, and they're walking away with first place. So, if you're any of these teams, literally any of these squads,
Skyforce को गेम राम्रो जान्न अब थाहा छ मलाई.
Yeah, because if they have another good game here, they're gonna run away with it. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, one of the teams that I think has great potential maybe even be Faction Brazil, right? We just saw them jump 10 slots all the way up in towards that 4th place. So there's a lot of potential cooking on the horizon here, and I'm curious to see exactly how the teams are going to be approaching these final 2 Erangels.
ओ मामा
So be really
Live
careful
में
here.
उतर
You
क्या हो?
cannot afford any slip ups or any mistakes because any little thing and it's
क्या
all
होता है?
over. So again, for anybody that's just tuning in for the first
Subscribe
time,
and make
it's
subscribe
first place.
and
First place gets that
मलाई नि
automatic
हान्नु
ticket to
subscribe
the finals
मेरो
here
नि
of the PUBG
त्यति
तपाईँले
Mobile
किन
धेरै
हान्नु
Open.
र
So
दिदी
if you just look and
भिडियो
you see
हेर्ने
how well Team Falcons are doing, they are already looking like a lock for that ticket.
ए
And I think if you're being realistic,
यत्तिकै
knowing
चाहिँ
how well they're
नगर्ने
playing, you gotta shut them down here now. So I want to see something different.
मेरोबाट त फ्रीमा बाउआमाले मान्दैन नि त
Yep, there's going to be a lot to look
दिदी
forward to.
मलाई
But of
सेवा
course,
हालिदिनु म
we are going to be
सब्स्क्राइब गर्छु
hopping into a very
भयो
quick break
पर्दैन
as well. So be sure to stay tuned.
हाल्दिनँ
We'll see you back in a short few
मलाई
moments.
मेरै पैसा प्यारो छ आज आज मलाई दिन्छु भनेन
कप हाम्रै हो
हजुर
जहाँ मलिक त्यहाँ ट्रफी भन्ने कुरा थाहा छैन केटाहरूलाई
के अरे त्यो जेन्स दाईको च्याटमा हेर्नु त कमेन्ट गरेर सब्सक्राइब
कोकोनट बिस्कुट खाऊ निन्द्रा भगाऊ
कफी बिस्कुट खान्न त
अब केही खानु हुँदैन 12 बजेपछि अब मैले
3 मिनेट बाँकी यार किन 12 बजेपछि किन केही खानु पर्दैन ए यतिको लागि गर्नु 3 मिनेट छ
100 लाइक नै पुराएन यार केटाहरूले
आफ्नै 5 लाइक पाछन् त
म गरिदिन्छु चेक किन हाँस त्यसरी
यो रुल्सले क्या अस्ति पहिला यो उसको लाइभ बनाएको थियो नि त उसँग पिटिआरको जक्सी हो कि लक्सीसँग हेलो साथी अर्कै नेपालीको खतराबाट भनिदिन्छ भने चाहदिन्छ लक्सीले नमस्ते साथी
एजे पब्जी की सारे
पब्जी एम
classic and watch party PMGO रे ओइ
गर्लफ्रेन्ड मेसेज हान्न पुग्यो
लाइक पुराउ कडाउ 100 लाख
सरी
24 पोइन्ट देखेर छ त फेल्कनको
लाइक पुराउ कडाउ 100 लाख
मेरो लिङ्क सेयर हानिदिनु भयो क्या
थापा चाहिँ डिस्कर्डको लिङ्क पठाउ न रे
डिस्कर्डको होइन साथी यो उसको प्याराललको
लास्टै गर्मीको यार
प्याराललको नोबी भाइ यो त तिमीलाई कहाँ पठाउनु मैले प्यारालल
हुरा कहाँ छ हुरा देखाउनु नि
प्यारालल डाउनलोड गर होइन म तिमीलाई इन्स्टाग्राममा लिङ्क पठाइदिन्छु ल उसले मलाई फलो गरे जस्तो लाग्यो त्यो हेरेकै छैन सुजल भट्ट
मैले आज टिभी किस्तामा किनेर ल्याएको छु त्यही भएर सबैजनाले लाइक शेयर सब्स्क्राइब भनेर पैसा कमाउने वातावरण बनाइदिया हो
किस्तामा ल्याउनु भएको छ रे
रेन्टमा
कसलाई
टिभीलाई
के त्यस्तो भइरहेको मसँग माग्यो भने दिन्थेँ म
अरे
मेरो घरमा सिआरटी यतिकै थन्केर बसेको
मामाजी
मेरो दुईटा ल्यापटप यतै रहेछ स्किम सुरु गर्दा
Welcome back, everybody, to the PUBG Mobile Globe in Brazil. We're at match number 3.
Yes.
We're headed into Erangel, and I mentioned it a little bit earlier. Team Falcons are on top, looking to go ahead and head into the finals. And I will not lie, that is where they belong. Okay, this is a team that definitely I want to see in the finals. You know, one thing else that I really love seeing is I like to see teams that have the ability to adapt mid-tournament. You know, I think that's something that we've been lacking in PUBG Mobile Esports. We haven't seen it in a long time, right? We see teams just like no matter what happens, they just continue to do the same. And it frustrates me because I want to see a team that's like, let's say that you're a team in the last game, last game of the tournament. You need 20 eliminations and you need a team to go out first. Okay? If I'm them, I'm like, hey, we gotta either hot drop the squad or find them early and take them out. And then we need to just push everybody, right? Because that's the only chance you have. You can't just sit back and do the same thing, you know? So I want to see teams start making those adjustments. And honestly, if you're being real and you want that main event ticket, you're going to have to look at the Falcons and be like, hey, you guys, we have to slow them down eventually.
Yeah, I think getting that direct ticket. Beautiful Millie base. Wow. Love it. But what I'm saying is getting that direct invite into the main event itself. Get down to it if you want to be the team to be awarded that spot.
Honestly, a big opportunity right now is going to be on the side of Death Wolves, right? They're going to be down in that military island all by themselves. So they're going to be looted up to the teeth, to their fangs. On up towards them. Nothing really too crazy. We do see Team Falcons, right, due to the playing path, dropping in a different location. So I do like this from them, right? Because if they realize what's at stake here, which they do, they're so smart the way they play. You know, they're going to mix things up on these teams. They don't want nobody surprising them, trying to take them out early. So I like the fact that they're mixing up their drop spots.
I think it's safe to say that the Falcons are definitely not going to wing it.
Oh yeah, they're not leaving anything up to chance, that's for sure.
Well,
I mean, that's what it takes, right? Especially to be a second place team in the global championship.
That was pretty intense to watch, right? Sitting in the audience just go at it. It's insane. So I can just imagine, you know, all that expertise now coming onto the battlefield here yet again. Speaking of expertise, we've got a lot of exploration also happening. A lot of teams already starting with a rather early rotation down to that far southern side of the map.
Oh yeah, that's what you gotta do, especially when you see a good old Sanhok circle. You gotta get looted up very quickly, and you want to get to that island as fast as humanly possible. And you're gonna see Rook start heading in that position, but I believe that it's gonna be Zebra Masters already gonna hold down that bridge. So instead, it looks like they're gonna try to take this edge of Milta, creep up little. Oh, actually, they're not looted at all. So they didn't loot up. They just said straight up, we're gonna head towards Milta, loot up there, and then try to head to Sanhok right after.
They didn't loot up.
That's a brave decision to make, especially looking at what we can see from the map. Right, there's 3 teams now looking to convert that onto that position. So it is going to be pretty hot and sweaty. It's not going to be whatsoever hot and sweaty over in towards mid base. At least not for the time being, as we see the players there. From the Death Wolves, right? Having full base to themselves, they can go about, get themselves looted up. It's over on this bridge where the heat is going to get dialed up.
Yeah, you know what? Look at that. Be bold. Be very bold on the early rotation. These guys are also completely naked. They don't have any, no loot at all. No vest, no helmet. They headed straight towards Novo, and they're going to be the first ones here. So, I mean, heck, fortune does favor the bold. They're going to be there nice and early. Going to get nice and looted up and ready for the rest of the match.
Yeah. See, I think like the whole saying of fortune favors the bold. I think I took that one a little bit too literally. But looking at B-Bold out on the battlefield, they're looking pretty good. I mean, this is a good start, especially with the zone being so far towards the southern side. But I'm curious as to whether or not they're going to have some company maybe in a little while.
Totally possible. So they got to get looted up pretty quickly here. They're staying early on, maybe to try to catch somebody on that rotation just in case. They didn't go like all the way to the outer edge of Novo and start looting backwards. They stayed right up towards the front, maybe to try to prepare for that situation. They know teams are going to try to get there as early as possible. So really interesting to see. We are starting to see, I believe that's Hurrah on the move. Get a couple headshots. Oh, gets a nice little hit marker there. He said, I'll take that one with me. They are going to be holding the edge of the bridge, and honestly, the longer they do, the more dire and more desperate it's going to get.
I gotta say though, the bass sound in this game is that ding that you get. Yeah. I mean, it's almost as good as the Falcon sound, but I would say, the headshot is just like, it's magic.
Especially if it comes from a suppressed M24. Music to my ears. Music to my ears. Maybe I have a bolt action sniper headshot on my bingo card for today. So hopefully we'll see it. Botate though! That's one of them. We'll take that. Here we go. Botate is done and dusted. From Gizmo Esports. Heading on over. I believe this is from Primorsk, right? Yeah, so they're going to be the boats from there, and they're going to head down over to the island.
But looking at the trajectory, they're actually going to be aiming for southern positioning over on that island. So that could be quite interesting because we don't really have anybody there. We might essentially have a little bit of hoorah if they decide to rotate that one down towards the southern side. The thing about rotations though, Valve business, they still have a lot of work to do trying to get themselves closer towards the southern side.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard game for them, for sure. They're going to have to fight their way in, but honestly, this is what they do best, right? They really do a great job of the outer rotation, pushing on these teams that are going to be late. Usually the teams that are late on rotation could be some of the most nervous squads, the most hesitant ones. And if you're looking to soak up points, if you're Team Falcons, that's going to be your main target right there.
I mean, it's almost like they've engaged the janitor duty, right? They've unlocked the janitor skill, right? Clean up aisle 4, aisle 5, they're on it, they're right there picking up all the pieces they can find. Speaking about pieces though, it's going to be a little bit of pressure now coming onto the players here from Insanity. But we've seen a few attempts in the first two matches on their end, but now they're going to have to contest against, well, the big wingers here, the Falcons knocking on their door.
They are the best teams right in the region, and Insanity, they are such a great squad. They've obviously earned their position to be here. The problem is that they just went out so early in the first two matches. So I'm talking about hesitant squads. I mean, they have every right to have that, right? Because they're just so down on the leaderboard. They know they need a monster game. So they are in a position to gatekeep. I like the fact that they're making it a little bit more passive. Actually, a lot more, right? In the past couple of games, they realized that, hey, we got to put points on the board here, so let's go for a bridge gatekeep and try to soak up this elimination. Unfortunately, it's most likely to be against Team Falcons and Royal Support. So, good luck to them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also looking over on towards that eastern side. That is looking very interesting now, but we do see the Moneymakers making their push towards Pachinki. There's going to be a little bit of action there between players from Intense Gaming as well as Invictus. Ooh, Invictus just trying to find the sprays wherever they can. Very damaged side from the Invictus players.
Oh, it's this game just looking to get those points because they know they're gonna need it. Yeah, they need to get these knocks because you can see him trying to take them out if he can because they know that it's gonna be so difficult to get into this island. If you can just get some points on the board just in case, that is gonna be your best case scenario. But they were able to steal 3, so that's pretty good. Let's see how the Oxford play this though, because they are very, very late to the party.
I mean, already we do see a lot of those prime positions being occupied, and even just looking at the coastline, it is going to pose quite a threat, especially for Intense now to get themselves situated. But to see how they look to play this one out. Meanwhile, we are going to be jumping down to the western edge of zone, well, quickly. A quick taste of what's happening towards the side there of the mini base. Ooh, nice air though.
Gonna wanna tonight, gonna wanna tonight, gonna wanna
Meanwhile, Rook's gonna get some airtime on that roof. Looking right towards the direction of Hi-Fi. Meanwhile, here we go. Team Falcons looking to secure this bridge. Where did Sandy go? Where'd you go? They said, see ya. We are out of here. We're gonna cross this bridge. The gatekeeping idea was fun, but we smell some Falcons in the air, and we're out of here. Smart play.
Yeah, but I think it's also a good spot to, looking at where they got themselves situated over on towards that island, right? So whoever makes it off this bridge is going to be running into Insane, so there is a great opportunity for Insanity now to pick it up. Speaking of pickups, yeah, now losing even more players.
Yes. Anytime you have, of course, a melee zone is going to make things interesting. Falcons are going to be... They know they're going to be going this pretty late, but it's still early in the game. They can't afford to eat a little bit of blue zone here. Now they are going up against Faction Brazil. This was the team that won the last match. So they're in a tough spot too, because Insanity, after that rotation, they're in a great position to gatekeep both of these teams now.
Yeah, we just see them backtrack ever so slightly back onto the bridge. Speaking about crossing, so it's all the way around on that southern side. Gizmo now having to share the position here with Hurrah and Moneymakers also holding all the way down to that far south side. But then, of course, the rest of the Death Wolves also moving into the territory, so it's going to be heavily contested down on the southern side, but nothing changing though up towards those bridges.
Military zone.
See, the next zone does go on up, and it goes south here. So, oh my goodness, let's see what the play is going to be as Team Falcons eating a good chunk of blue zone. Every single time the zone closes, it hurts. I think Faction Brazil are going to go in the other direction. They're going to give up the bridge entirely and try to maybe circumvent, but oh my gosh, Team Falcons are going to punish them for giving up like that.
Oh, clip on you, clip on.
I think also the blue is going to cause quite a bit of damage to them, so I'm not quite sure how to feel about that rotation. I mean, not the entire team that has moved out, we still see a few more of them just hanging around on the edge. Meanwhile, it's going to be the Moneymakers now having a bit of a splash, trying to cool down, relax, enjoy the drink out in the open, but Gizmo, I love that setup for Gizmo.
I do as well. Look at this. I mean, the timing. It's just beautifully done. Insanity has given up on that 18. They knew that it's better to take that position in circle. I do like their rotation, but it works out for the Falcons as they're going to have a free reign on in. Meanwhile, intense game. Putting in some work in the blue zone. There's 4 eliminations for them. They're going to have to start boosting quickly because this zone's going to start hurting once it closes.
Still Faction Brazil trying to alleviate a little bit of that pressure over on the bridge. We did see top getting stopped in their tracks, but is this now the opportunity for at least, well, what's left of Faction Brazil to get themselves back into zone? Moneymakers now going to be feeling a lot of that heat as Icy gets hit, but Bravo! Down they go, old boy, M24.
Bingo card, baby! Check it off the list. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see it from the sniper's perspective, but I don't mind viewing it from the other end. Beautifully done there as Gizmo I mean, so many of these teams are still in the blue zone here. Trying to make the best decision. Oh boy, come on, give it to me one more time, bro. Don't you dare! Don't you? Yeah, he knows better. He said, "I'm not looking in that direction." Old boy is not messing around. And if I even peek my head out in the slightest, I'm gonna get punished. Uh-oh. Old boy's just waiting for it. Come on.
Tino
Nope,
ya
they're
yang
not.
eh,
Gizmo not trying to risk
Jones.
it. Don't blame him.
Yeah, but I mean, this is a good play coming through from Allenson, right? Just capitalizing on a little bit of a sneaky play here. But still gotta watch out. I mean, Old Boy is there, is looking, is prepping, waiting for the opportunity to get that pink to
त्यो
go.
रिभाइभ
And
हुन्छ
then
त गर
that
रिभाइभ
could be the
गर्न हो
opening for
भाइ
the rest of the money
गुल्सन
makers.
गोबर
Huge. See Alexander trying to be able to get him maybe
Patience
with a
in there.
nade. Icy's looking at insanity.
Orola
Oh, just so
Jonza
silent. Look at that discipline. Trigger
Easy zone,
discipline
easy
big
zone,
time. He
Ninja,
realizes I don't
easy.
want to give up my position. I only have 2 players.
Easy ला bro.
Get that intel and move
यतातिर
later on.
दिन्छ कि राइट साइडमा त्यो बीबी गएको ठाउँमा
1v1 though. DBS is out.
बीबीसँग फाइट
Gonna get it
गर्नुपर्छ
done
बफिङमा
there.
देन
Yeah, that's it, Allen, for the finish. We do also say goodbye to Faction as they get sent away. Row gonna be following hard on their heels. But let's see whether or not Koa can relay enough information back to the rest of the crew. I see though now not going to be laying on that trigger discipline, instead going to be digging into the side of
And guess what? It got stolen. Insanity gonna go ahead and take it just like that. So yeah, you try to get that security, you get the knock, but you gotta get that finish. Otherwise, these other players and teams are gonna soak up those points big time. So now that their position's gone, they're gonna go for the wide wrap. Probably gonna head towards that as south as they can. And they're actually just gonna probably just creep up right here, right towards the edge and stay. I wouldn't. Never mind. They're gonna send it a little bit further.
Good play though coming through here from Sky. Alright, so get the one confirmation right there. The rest of the smoke now going to be trying to lock it down. Meanwhile, Insanity also trying to find a bit of a foothold. Inko feeling so much hit. I mean, Gizmo, right? They're not even in zone, but they definitely trying to blaze their way forward, right? Trying to create any possibilities or potential angles to push in.
Playing it very concise here. They want to get to an end game, and they're already in it. So, trying to make some plays. Especially, they gotta get those fingers warm after going out early twice. Meanwhile, Smoke Gaming, they had a very interesting rotation. They just went straight down from the north side and just swam right across and were able to make it into this island nice and early. So sometimes that swim strategy does work. They did lose one in the process.
त्यो अगाडि जोन छिटो यही प्रब्लम हुन्छ
राइट खाली रहेछ राइट खाली रहेछ
जोन त इजी छ त यस त देखिहाल्छ नि
Yeah, I mean sometimes you just gotta pay the toll.
Nice says,
That's part of the cost of living. But in the meanwhile, Hi-Fi's if you're looking to just connect on through here with smokes, you can see Mirth moving up, quick response. Oh, even with a suppressor, they get found out and picked off.
Instantly. Yeah, at this level, you can only take a couple shots from the same position. You gotta move. Otherwise, you're just gonna get absolutely beamed from another spot. And look at that trigger discipline, right? Bro, just chilling, waiting. Confirm. He's gonna go for the reload here.
Yes.
He's gonna get the finish. Blue zone's coming. He's gonna run.
Yes.
Inko. Wow.
But that's the second time we see Vitaly doing that, right? Previous match, exactly the same thing happened up in Rozo. Beautiful cleanup victory from Vitaly as they do capitalize on even more of the upsets. But now, it is up to Hura, right? As you can see, slowly trying to get themselves in, but even Gizmo applying pressure from the backside.
Vitaly's so smart, just soaking up those steals. I mean, those are crucial points right there. He realizes it, especially with having only 2 players up. Stealing all those points are going to be huge. Next zone does go on over towards Insanity. So they are. This is their chance, right? They're in that playing graveyard right there. Very central, centered up. They just got to be able to get that and keep teams away from them. Meanwhile, bro, trying to make it happen. Gets the shots. Actually, yeah, no, that was bro. Gets the knock on Vitaly. That's what you get for stealing my eliminations, buddy. Can he take out 7 though? That's gonna be the question.
Ooh, gotta watch out for Higud as well. Just chilling on the edge. I mean, at least for bro, it's not the last hurrah. They were able to send them backing, but the Inko, they have a little bit of backup. So let's see. Can bro find the play?
He's looking for the toes.
Come on,
TP
get it.
damage बड़ा सही क्या?
No,
Solid
gets
TP
bark
को
instead.
Yeah, maybe he's trying to go for some tires. Maybe trying to take out
TP
that
is love.
vehicle.
खै मैले
I don't
सर्कल
think
बोकेको
it's
देखेँ
blown
छैन
up just
रिटाइकलमा
yet. Oh, I think it's on fire. He's gonna have to
Nuclear
run on the
छाडिदिनु
open
भएछ
and make a
तल
play
गरिदिनु।
here. He's going for it. Oh, he lost his perspective. We're gonna watch Rook heal up for a second. But here we go. Now we're gonna see Bro pushing on up. Oh, and Seven said, nah, let me just shut that down real quick.
Easy claps, right? Easy claps. But now Inkar,
थाहा पाएको छ
right,
नि
this is
कस्तो
where the
मरेको
hard
थाहा
work
पाएन
comes, because now they gotta get their butt back into that zone. Yes, there is a big gaping hole onto that southeastern side of the zone, but we've got so many teams held up in the vicinity that I don't think it's gonna be a very easy point to enter on.
Oh, not easy at all. You know, I mean, you know what? Insanity does have it easy. They have so much real estate here, so much vision. All they got to do is really just play it correctly, hit their shots. But they do have to worry about that backside. Intense game could definitely disrupt them, and that's why you could see them kind of splitting their resources a little bit. But they can't split themselves too far. They got to be prepared for a push because they know it is coming. And you can see Death Wolves and the rest of these squads are just looking for that little bit of an opening to take it away from them. Vitaly running out in the open. Oh, he's putting on his dancing shoes. Nice return shots. That forces Rado to go down, but you know what? Oh, the Death Wolf saw him as soon as he gave up his position and said, give me that point. I'll take it.
Yeah, got ended right then and there. Now, Zebra Master also going to come knocking on the door. It's going to be CeeLo about to feel the heat, the spray, and down it is.
SM केले नि उठाएन ल ठीक छ
Love that spray.
ठीक छ
Smoke though, also getting sent
माथिको
away.
टिमहरु मर्नु पर्यो
See if they can maybe get into a little bit of the
यो कस्तो ठाउँ लगेको यो
yeah, Ruch.
I mean, that's the sound I make after I miss a shot, dude. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the sound they're making in the position that they're in right now, because it's not too solid. Yeah, they're holding it down. They're just hoping that zone stays where they're at, because it's nothing but open field surrounding them. Meanwhile, you can see Hi-Fi just trying to get those singles. Insanity doing a great job. This is what they need to be doing, right? It's just applying that pressure. It's really only just him looking at the south side. So Silence has a very big job on his shoulders.
Yeah, it could be golden for Silence at this point, so we got to see whether or not they can line that one up. Meanwhile, Rook still now having to do quite a bit of work. I like the fact that we've got those Death Wolves also starting to make a bit of a play as they take a run for the southern side of zone. But now, intense Insanity rather, you're looking to make it challenging for the remainder of Rook now to get themselves in zone.
Oh, let's see what happens here, because right now the zone does favor Be Bold. Be Bold, very, very fortunate to be in the position that they're in now. And yeah, you can just see them turtling it up, ready to take some shots downfield as the rest of these teams are starting to make that push. This is zone number 6. You don't want to get caught in this blue zone at all. And Death Wolves, going to make a very bold rotation. Possibly even going for that res. Very risky.
Well, I mean, moving into these next few phases, you definitely could benefit from having more numbers, right? You could go for a duo play, but it is going to be ever so much more challenging. Meanwhile, Be Bold trying to see if they can reach in and get that pickup, but Hi-Fi is also now trying to assert their position up towards the north as the Zebra team makes the play. Up they come. Let's see whether or not the Zebra Masters can find that play to swoop the Hi-Fi under the rug.
Oh, under the rug, under the wing, and you can see them try their best effort, but it's not going to end up where... Actually, no, this is a different team, so this is Zebra Master there in that position. Hi-Fi's holding it down at that edge, looking to press on to Zebra Masters as Monkey. They're barely in this circle right now, so they're trying to get as much information as they can to try to get some of these knocks.
40 likes,
a very good, fortunate third party. They're still in this.
Definitely we will be in this. And I think this is a really good play coming through here from Be Bold. Right, so far, this is the best positional play, right, that we've actually seen in just these past 2 matches. So things looking pretty positive here. Let's see whether or not Be Bold can be bold enough to claim this territory.
Yeah, you know what, DK, though? You know who it's really fortunate for? Hi-Fi. Reason why is because they're so high on the leaderboards. Team Falcons went out with only one elimination. So this is their chance. They realize it. They only have 2 players up, but the pressure's on. They can't afford to go out. They need to close that gap if they want that first place finish and even be in the running against this monster squad that is Team Falcons. If they open the door, it's up to them to walk through it. It's going to be hard, though. They're not in the best position, and they are being gatekept by Zebra Masters. You can see them in that buggy trying to figure out what to do in this position. They got to play it very carefully.
But I mean, even for Zebra Master, this is a good play, right? They just trailing by 2 points behind the Hi-Fi. So this is essentially the fight to see who will be allowed to try and chase the Falcons. So there's so much riding on that play. But again, we are prepping for that zone to shift. Is it going to favor any one team in particular? If it goes south, ooh, it doesn't. But this is now the play, right? It's saying they need to move up.
It's going
to be brutal. If it goes even a smidge more south, it's going to be literally wide out. So I think a lot of these teams realize that. You can see Be Bold running out in the open. He decides to take those shots, trying to steal some eliminations. Runs out of bullets out of that DP, switches guns. And we can just see him trying to put in some work here as Be Bold are applying that pressure to the Death Wolves. One more shot and gets some. And that's Death Wolves gone. Top 4 remaining.
Pretty dang crazy, but now, right, if you thought it was crazy, it is going to get even more insane moving forward. We've got 4 squads, only one of them still has everyone in play, right? That is going to be Insanity holding up on towards that northwestern side, but they're still going to kind of rub their shoulders up against Zebra Master, Hi-Fi's, and then of course Be Bold holding steady on that southern edge.
Yeah, it essentially is. It was still anyone's game, right, to get that first place. But they needed to have a good game here and now. Those teams in that bottom score need to have a monster game. And Insanity is that team. They only have 4 eliminations. They need to win this game and eliminate everybody if they want to stay in the game here. But, you know, you got teams like Zebra Master and Hi-Fi so up high on the leaderboard. They want to get that first place position here and now. And let's see what happens as Insanity are playing this very, very carefully. Maybe a little bit too careful. It's gonna be hard though. Silence throwing that nade through the. Oh my gosh! He threaded that needle through the gate.
Nice.
And that worked out perfectly. Beautifully done there from Silence.
That was beautiful play. But now, I mean, we're down to 3 teams, right? 3 players on average on either end. So let's see. Ooh, that nade's getting close. Oh, finds a little bit of damage. A little bit, but not enough.
Let's see what happens. Oh no! Monkey going down to blue zone. I think they realize it. Yeah. Nothing they can do. Papa Blue coming in the works. Take it down Hi-Fi. So now here we go. It's Be Bold versus Insanity. Insanity going out so early in their first 2 matches. I was telling you how they needed to play it slower, right? They needed to put some points on the board, and this is how you do it right here. And especially to get that rotation nice and early, secure this position onto military base. Very, very good game for them. They don't have the circle, though, so it's not over yet. Be Bold have 3 players. Might as well call it 4 because Papa Blue's on their side.
I mean, it would have stepped up, though, for both these teams, right? As you said, Insanity not having the best run of the first 2. Be Bold, I mean, they made it up into top 10 for both of the previous matches, but this time, they made it all the way up into the top 2. So let's see, can they be bold enough to claim that win in Chicken Dinner? The position looking super favorable, but now it's going to be go time as Insanity starts to roll on up.
Oh, what a knock there from Silence! That was so huge! Now they have a 2v1, but they lose it! Be Bold! Oh, what a play right there! Lorenzen clutching it off. Gonna get another knock right here, most likely. Yes, sir, he does! He said, you know what? Don't even worry, man. You guys are insane. I'm insane myself. I'll take down this whole squad.
Confidence boost
Confidence is looking so good. Let's see whether or not Insanity can pack the talent they need to try and clutch this one win in Chicken Dinner. But if I'm being honest, right, it looks like Be Bold has got this one in the bag, so much so that they are down to 1 opponent left and standing between them and that Chicken Dinner.
let's put it this way. They have it so well in the bag. I put my whole house on it. Here comes an absolute red zone. And he said, you know what? I'm not going towards that red zone. I'm going to stay in the blue zone here. Take the chicken dinner. We'll take that second place. But man, be bold, clutching it up right there at the end. You can see him put his head on his arms because that was a stressful one.
I mean, that was intense. Yep, you gotta get it done. Get it done. But what a performance. 7 elims and 1,817 damage being backed in here. Absolutely phenomenal comeback here from the B-Bolt squad. And I mean, wow. Game number 3, what a way to wrap it up.
It was a huge one, right? We saw Team Falcons go out early. They tried that really late rotation into the island, and it didn't work out there. So let's take a look here. Man, it's so crazy. It's so crazy to see how these leaderboards are going to shake up at the end of the day, because it was a perfect case scenario, right? You have Team Falcons dominate the first 2. They go out early here. The second and third place teams put up some good points, and teams at the bottom, right, clutched it up right there at the end.
I mean, it's going to be pretty tight competition all the way through. And I mean, I think it's the beauty of these battle royales, right? You never know who's going to be the next team to step up. I mean, we spoke about this off camera, right? You might be the best team in the world, but if you don't have that zonal positioning, there's not much you can do about it.
Yeah. Happens, right? The way that I say that in order to make a championship game is when you don't get that zone, you got to put up some points, right? You got to have some consistent ones. But when you do get that favorable position, you not just have to win the game, right? You have to win the game and get a ton of eliminations in the process. So we take a look here at the highlights from that last one. And the thing is that we saw the Falcons, every time they got a good position, they won with double-digit eliminations, right? Now, we didn't really see that here in this next one, right? We saw the teams that ended up getting those top placements, not getting those double digits, but they put some big points on the board that desperately needed, so you can't take that away from them.
Yeah, I mean, 100% agree with you. It was about time that we see a little bit of a shift in that dynamic come through, but I think a lot of the pressure for this phase and for this map in particular was all the challenges that we saw erupting over on those bridges, right? Both the east and the west bridges.
100%. So, you know, we'll see that. One play in particular was that one we just saw a little bit earlier. Right? What did you think about that rotation from Faction Brazil?
I mean, talk about an upset, right? Definitely trying to sneak their way on through. It was quite aggressive over on Intense, but you know, Intense, they were there ready to just lock it down and keep anybody from gaining ground on them.
Yeah, I think that they realized that it was Team Falcons on the other side of that bridge, and they say, you know what, we don't even want to take this fight. Let's see if we can sneak away, and they got punished for it. I think sometimes you just have to commit to that fight, especially after having such a solid game that they did in that last one. But you know what, things do happen, and we talked about it earlier, right? Fortune favors the bold as they end up winning match number 3 here. Be bold, getting that very favorable position, and they executed on it well.
Yeah, I mean, you can't fault them for that. It was a phenomenal play, but also got to give credit up to Insanity, right? Just holding so much ground here, moving into the end, but as we saw, Lorenzen, you know, it was just a quick, swift move, stepping up, picking up 3 of the players here from Insanity.
Hey, you know what I say? DBS OP. You know what I'm saying? DBS so strong. You know, I think I heard that it got nerfed, but I don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? It's still putting in so much work because we look at the top 5 players, and of course it's gotta be Lorenzen. Look at that there. 4 eliminations, 3 knocks, 800 damage. 2 of those in that little 2v1 that we saw earlier, and that was the one to win the game. Because honestly, if he goes down there, I think we would have seen a standing take.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's tough to beat a nade barrage getting sent in your direction, but yeah, if they were able to survive it, things maybe could have changed out, right, moving forward. But also good representation coming through here from the Hi-Fis, right? Because Snowix, Monkey, both picking up a decent amount of elim, some decent damage. Also,
100%. A good, solid amount of points coming from Hi-Fis. That's going to definitely make the leaderboards probably shake up a little bit. I'm interested to see where that ends up. Hopefully we'll see that here soon. But I mean, a great performance in match number 3. We only have a few more matches left to go here, DK. It's one more Erangel and 2 more Miramar. So I think teams, it's crunch time right here, right now. If you're in that bottom 8, what do you think they should do on this one, right? You think they should just, should they go in hard here, try to play the same? Because, I mean, players like Lorenzen are making it happen here in clutch time.
Lorenzen.
I mean, if you're in the bottom 8 and you're gonna try and play it the same as you have, obviously it's not been working too favorably. So I definitely would go for a bit of a change up, right? Shift into a different gear, right? Try a stat that you might not have considered in the previous 2 matches.
The hard part is that this is only one day, and not to mention they didn't really have time to adapt to the lobby, right? Because you have the first Erangel match was a very normal one, but the second one was a wild card, right? You have a military island finish, which really makes things tough. So in match number 3, if you're in that bottom side, I think you got to play it so carefully. You got to put some points on the board here, no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, speaking about putting points on the board, no matter what, right? It's no surprise that Lorenzen is going to be our MVP for this game, right? Just played such a phenomenal position here. And as we saw, just going absolutely ham on the edge. But of course, it's going to be time for the match rankings, right? vbolt securing himself 17 points with such a beautiful chicken.
Oh man, that was massive right there, and one that they desperately needed. I mean, we saw that player put his hands in his arms and just, I mean, that was huge. So beautiful for them, very big for Insanity too, especially of how they started those first 2 matches. So they put themselves in the running, and that's what's so important, right? It's like the fact that they got themselves a mathematical chance here. As we take a look, Team Falcons still on top. They're with 37 points, but Hi-Fi and Zebra Master are not too far away from them. But look at that jump from vbolt.
Yeah, big jump.
Wow.
I mean, it's beautiful to see these things happen, right? It just shows you that it ain't over until it's over, right? Even Insanity also climbing up 5 spots all the way up into that 9th position. So I'm expecting still a little bit of a back and forth, a little bit of a shift as we're moving into the latter half of today's matches. Of course, as we know, 3 down, 3 more to go.
Oh boy, it's gonna get intense here as we're going into our final Erangel match, and then 2 Miramar, and it's all over here. So, obviously, there's only 2 things we care about. First place, because they get that ticket to the finals, and top 8. That's it. Everybody else goes home. Second place is the same as 8th, right? They're all going to go to that same prelims, you know, and it's going to be hard to play there. So I think if you're these teams like, you know, Hi-Fi's, and you know, you really want to push the envelope and try to get that ticket. You want first place no matter what.
I think this is one of the few instances where finishing in 9th place is still going to be a viable spot to push for, right? I mean, as we know, first slot going out, the remaining 8 spots then still open for the taking. So I'm expecting a little bit of friction now to start heading towards that lower position on the leaderboard. But of course, as we saw now from vbolt, right? They just play a monster game. He can still make such a big move on the leaderboard.
Absolutely. Speaking of big moves, of course, we got to give a big shout out to the Realme 12 Pro Plus. It elevates your photography experience with 120x super zoom and performance in games. Go check it out today.
How to be a portrait master.
Source money, guys, the source money.
And we're back here, guys. Of course, we got to give a big shout out to the PUBG Mobile 6th anniversary version. Available now, guys. Make sure you guys share your memories on social media with the hashtag PUBGM6th Wishing and experience the anniversary now in PUBG Mobile version 3.1.
ए 6 मिनट ब्रेक यार
Gentlemen, 200 players, 50 teams, $3 million and one trophy. Welcome to the 2023 PUBG Mobile.
ये $5 million है नहीं हो आता है $5 million है ना ये टूर्नामेंट का
PMG'ye 3 defa katıldık ve bu sefer
Ki basa buluyor öyle.
taraftarın karşısında olduğu için daha inançlıyız. 2 kez dünya şampiyonu olup yani rekora, üçüncülüğe daha yaklaşmak, bir adım atmak istiyoruz. Yani onu düşünüyorum, başka bir şey düşünmüyorum.
Gue udah 4 kali di PMGC dan baru 2 kali di final dan ini tahun apa ya kayak PMGC pertama kali ya setelah 2 tahun kemarin gue nggak lolos dan mungkin perasaan gue berada di PMGC lagi di final tentunya itu apa ya semua tim itu udah merata sih dari segi skill dan apapun itu dan gue rasa PMGC ini bakalan PMGC yang seru banget karena semua tim itu udah jago banget. Mungkin momen yang gak bisa gue lupain itu waktu jadi world champion
Final ini oleh PMGC जीते
itu salah satu yang
BTR apa
momen yang paling gue inget banget karena semua orang juga tahu kan kalau tim gue kita tuh bisa loh juara dunia nggak cuma di region kita doang. Karena juara itulah tidak pernah menyerah.
За миний хувьд одоо 4 хичээлтэй мэргэжлийн төвшөнд орж энэ хугацаанд өөрийгөө хансан гэж бодохгүй. Дэлхийн аврагт дээд учраас ерөнхийдөө болоогүй л гэж харж байгаа.
यार मैं ही दोन बग्या
Top has emerged as the MVP of South Asia Championship. Your MVP was Stalwart Esports. Give it up, Jakarta, for top.
За ямар үд буудаггүй гэвэл одоо тэгээд багаараа хичээгээд амжилт үзүүлэхгүй байгаа цагт бууд байна.
Better myself, Jack. That is absolutely They came to the cliffs late, and then at the very last moment.
Sekarang gue ngerasa buat tahun ini dan lebih tepatnya
Costa Jirra ya rawas
ini gue apa ya udah balik ke dan ini saatnya gue buktiin kalau gue masih layak di apa ya di tahun ke-6 ini.
लक्सी पनि खेलिरहेको र अहिले पनि
छैन पहिलाको देखा पिएमजीसी को
तिनीहरु कहाँ बीजेपीमा सक्यो बीटीआर मा गयो
बीजेपी बीटीआर को त नयाँ लाइनअप छ नि
एकताका त खतरा थियो त्यो माइक्रोवेभ साइक्रोवेभ हुँदाखेरि
आरआईपी रे को आरआईपी
को मर्यो थियो नि
因为训练赛其实大家都在乱玩，
大
家就没有太打架，所以说训练赛拿个第一只是因为我们活得比较久而已。
एसटीजी को हैन जोर छिलेर थियो
만약에 거기 오면은 그냥 비벼버릴 거라고.
Wait, that you will not protect me.
Estamos preparados para ganhar.
लुप्सहरु छैन
Chegamos aqui agora o bicho vai ser campeão e gol loops.
Hai, kami dari Malaysia.
Malaysia invite छ र
Malaysia boleh Lonely Alliance.
Treinamos muito e
लुप्स कलेज कोही छैन हौ
PMGC. Tamo junto.
क्वालिफाई भएन लुप्स
I can't wait.
लुप्स
भन्ने बित्तिकै त्यो त
apa पनि सुरु होस्
याद आउँछ यार apa बोल्ला
छैन हौ दाइ
बाइन्डर पनि गर्नु
कासुदो
बारेन्द्र कसको आज
बाइन्डर भयो
बारेन्द्र कसको आज
डट पनि हालिया
बार्साको गेम कहिले छ
अनि पनि छैन त
सुरु भइसक्यो 12:45 भने बार्साको गेम कहिले छैन
अहिले सुरु छ
बार्साको नि बार्साको चाहिँ यसो हेर्नुपर्छ बार्साले 1-0 जित्छ भनेर मैले यसो बोलिदिएर आएको छु क्या सुरु game.
Hey everybody, here we go to the PUBG Mobile Global Open Brazil. Of course, done in partnership with Real. Guys, this is going to be a big match here because we are now into the second half of this tournament here, right? This is the qualifying finals. This is it here for the day. We're going to see quite a few teams go home, 8 in total, and they have worked so hard to be here. So it's time to put up or shut up. These are those championship rounds, DK, right? You got to get it done here now.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much at stake here. And hopefully we're going to be seeing a beautiful change-up coming through into this latter half here. So the pressure is riding really dang high at this point. I mean, you don't want to be one of those teams that gets sent home, right? You want to either get the goal.
We see Death Wolves heading on over to Millie as well. So this zone, very familiar here. This is pretty much the same circle we saw in zone number 1. So no excuses here for these teams. I mean, you got to be able to make concise plays, get it done. I think if you're in the bottom, it's all about survival at this point, right? You just need to make it into top 8. You want to make sure you're able to make it into those prelims. Honestly, it's going to be hard because if you make it into those prelims, you got what, 1 day off? If you got that day off, you better be working overtime because it's going to be a tough one. There's some monster squads coming here in the next just a couple days.
Yeah. I mean, it's just around the bend, so you know, you got to get all the prep play in that you can find along the way. But still looking at it, I mean, we can see so many teams really close to hitting it up into the top 9, right? Insanity, they're going to be the gatekeepers at this point in time. 14 points is going to be the requirement. So Ruch, Moneymakers, Inco, all just 2 points away from getting a spot up into those prelims.
Yeah, so gonna have to put in that work for sure. Meanwhile, there's that battle for first place. Who's gonna be able to make it straight to the finals. Don't have to even worry about those partnership teams until a little bit later on. So we will see what happens here.
Mongolia over in
holding it down over there. Meanwhile, we got Inco over in apartments and school doing a little split. Looted up.
I like that ruch you said with the Spanish flavor coming in on the side.
Oh yeah. Man, dude. We don't want to hear them making that sound at the end of the day, though. You know what I'm saying? We want them to be hyped up, ready to go into the prelims. So, man, look at the
enemy right now. They're in 10th place with only 12 points. This is pretty much a make or break game for them at this point.
Yeah.
If they're able to get a good game here, they're going to be pretty confident going into top 8. If not, they're going to have to just go absolute desperate time into Miramar, and that's not the place they want to be. You know, speaking of that, you know, teams like Intense Game, you know, they were such a strong squad before. You know, they had a lot of roster changes, but, you know, we haven't really seen them really shine to what they have in the past, and they're currently in 14th place. We know this org has potential. Hopefully we can see them live up to it here. Another team, another name I recognize very well is Inco as well, down in 12th place. So this is that time right here, the last Erangel of the day, and it could be your tournament life if you don't do well here.
Yeah, it's going to be pressure, right? So, I mean, as we know, at least one or two of the players in the current Inco squad We also did see them at the PMGC, so we know that they have that experience, right? They've been there, they've rubbed shoulders with all these intense teams. So it's definitely going to be a case of whether or not they can actually muster that talent and just put the work in. Because, I mean, 2 points, right? It's not that much that they need to just get up into the top 9. Of course, that being said, Insanity, they are going to be looking to just lock it down. But also a team like Moneymakers, right? Regardless of what happens for them here, their name is still going to hold true. They're going to make money, but obviously you don't want to make just that. You want to get into those late spots. And, well, you got to work your way on through. Royals of War, I like this. Bringing in a bit of an upset, and this time around, Vitaly is going to be the first one down on his knees.
Yeah, he's gonna get thirsty here 100%, so absolute brutal loss. Vitaly was making some crazy plays that we saw in just the last game, right? So for Inko to lose him early on, oof, that's gonna hurt big time.
Energy lost by his head.
Well, it's part of the game, right? You just gotta find another way to keep on pushing on. Meanwhile, the Falcons also gotta start now to disengage. That pass doesn't drop that we saw over in towards they slowly make their way further up towards the north. I'm curious to see how they're going to look to rotate, right? Are they going to maybe opt for that eastern bridge, or are they going to go the long way and make a move for the western bridge?
It's really interesting. You know, different teams have different strategies on how they decide to rotate. You know, I don't really get to talk about it too much, but there's a perfect distance in between when you're trying to do like a 4-vehicle rotation. Because if you're too spread apart, if you find a team, that first person gets thirsty and the rest can't support, right? If you're too close together, your whole squad can get wiped out, right? So there's that perfect distance where you can still spot and support teammates in case they get hurt. Team Falcons, they just said, you know what, we're going to send Icy out on the bike. Icy, go get our spot, figure us out where we're going to be, and we're going to be fine with that. So a lot of trust in your scout there to get that rotation going.
I'm happy to see that Icy at least was able to change that the 2 wheels forward. It just gives a little bit more manageability when it comes to moving on through. Speaking about manageability though, look at what we've got cooking up in Center Zone, right? It is going to be the players there from Faction Brazil now having to fend off so many teams that could come into contest. I mean, we've got Inko in the mix there. We got the Zebra Masters as well knocking on the door. High flies up to the north. So it's going to be a pretty sweaty spot to play on.
Oh yes, indeed it is. And he can just
trying to get
a little bit more loot. He only has a level 1 helmet on right now, and he's rocking an M16 DBS. So you can see him just desperately, probably trying to find an M4, something to spray for some distance. There's that helmet. There you go. Nice little upgrade right there. Meanwhile, Hi-Fi's, they know where they're at. Yeah, Hi-Fi's is one of those teams that's so high on the leaderboards. They're just going to continue to play their own game, right? Just play, survive, get some points on the board. Maybe hope that the Falcons slip up a little bit, or we have a bigger game than them, and try to fight for that first place.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much opportunity available for them here. It doesn't seem like they are going to be too phased just yet. In the meanwhile, Faction Brazil going to see they can maybe find the Cookie Monster around the bend. I mean, Inko starting to move up. 7, I like the fact that they just on the opposite edge of that ridge. We're going to watch out. I mean, such a great awareness coming through from Faction.
100%. Yeah, they don't want to make that same mistake they made that last game there. That one really hurt them. So they got to play consistently. They got to put in that work. Next zone is about to pop here soon. Again, this is very similar to that last one. So, you know, the Falcons did a great job in that last game, working their way through Pachinki. Oh, they get blessed in this one, though. This is a very solid circle for them. They don't have to go too far at all. They can just stay in their home area. Potato Hill is going to be a very big spot of contention coming up very, very soon. And we can already see teams on the move immediately.
Yep, one of those teams, of course, being the players from the side of Invictus team. So we are yet to see Invictus climb up, right, and get more than a single digit there next to their name. So hopefully this could be a match in which we see a little bit of that action now start to unfold for them. Meanwhile, Zebra Master again coming through with a very, very sneaky angle. Come on, there we go.
Picking his head up little by little. He said, should I? Nope. Should I? Yep.
Open
And unfortunately, not able to get that. Oh, he looks like he's going to get one right here, though. He sure does. Actually, it was from one of his teammates from that off angle. So, wow. They get that secured real quickly. Zebra Master put in some work on this Pachinki side there. And that is Faction Brazil getting another player knocked. Ooh, nice little shots, though, there. Good angle. Trying to just slow them down a little bit, but it isn't enough to save their teammate. So they're going to lose 2 players. Faction Brazil having a rough one after that last game.
Well, and I mean, to add to it, look at this. Icy just going to work, finding Grog, get the rest of Gizmo out in the open. Hugo is like, no, get me out of this corner. But I love this aggressive play, or rather aggressive play from the Falcons. Bold in the meanwhile, still got quite a bit of that recovery to do, as they do find themselves pretty far out of zone. Falcons, though, I mean, they're just going to try and lock it down.
Yeah, I mean, they're in a weird position on the leaderboards. They don't have too much of a lead to where they are, you know, they're comfortable just playing passive. So they got to be able to put some points on the board here. But they don't want to play a regular game either. So they're definitely in that position of where they just kind of have to play it a little bit slower. But I don't want them to I don't want that to make them second guess themselves. If they see an opening, they got to take it.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the stakes, there's not a lot of opportunity for any hesitancy to come through, so you gotta commit to it as quickly as you can. Now, speaking about commitment, Sky gonna be looking to pop a few in over towards B-Bold. I like this widespread that they're using to get themselves situated, but of course, not out of the woods, right? We still have Hurrah! Trying to regain a little bit of ground, but I think slow, steady steps on their end is gonna pay off.
Let's see what Inko's gonna do. Inko losing that Vitali early on really hurt them. As you can see them rolling around trying to figure out what's the best thing to do here. Faction Brazil gonna hold it down for as long as they can. Zebra Master, though, are not content with just him staying there. They're gonna push this and try to get that next point. And he's in big trouble because he doesn't have any support. They're coming for him.
Yeah, it's pretty sad to see Faction Brazil taking such a wide split at this point in time. I mean, we've got Lutz really far away. Take a look at whether or not Zebra Master can get themselves in here. I mean, it's a 1v4, so this could be a very easy clap out for Zebra. They just need to find that utility, put it in exactly the right spot, and with that, almost locking it in.
Oh, nice pre-fire through the smoke, though. Tries to get that confirmed, and he does it. So another mistake from another team. You know, full squad versus one, losing player by player. That nade could be dangerous. Oh, doesn't get the knock. Instead, tries to go for that heal. Gets taken out just like that. So, heck, just go with 1 point, but Zebra Master gonna go ahead and get the better of Faction.
Yeah, things are looking a little bit challenging on the Zebra Master side of things, but Hi-Fi's, though, I mean, they've also been able to just get themselves positioned right there up into that center zone. So I think this could be quite a favorable spot. Yes, not the best defense, but a great opportunity to find some rotating teams in the process. Of course, looking at Inko as well, I think this could also provide them a bit of an opportunity, especially over towards the eastern side.
100%. You can see Inko. See what they decide to do. Hi-Fi's on the other end. They're in that spot where they need to put some points on the board. They want that first place position. And honestly, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're any of the squads gonna come into the prelims, I don't think you even want to deal with the Falcons at all. So I think you're rooting for them to just make it on over to the finals because that squad is going to be coming for that top 8. Meanwhile, Hurrah! With that DPS, put in some work. Bold trying to have a repeat finish, but they lost all their players. It's up to just Frank to make something happen. He's trying to do it with some nades.
Yeah, trying to make that difference happen here, but let's see whether or not it is going to be on the cards for them. Nice little utility through the window. And that is Hurrah showing as they get yet another even on the board.
And that is how you do it. So Hurrah finishing it up 4 eliminations for them.
Top 5 team ले उठाउँदैन भनेर
They're sitting actually 5 total, so they're sitting really pretty so far. You can see them starting to make that push into the next circle. And where are we headed? Tell me, DK, where are we going?
South. Go
south. South.
Oh, south of the island.
South of the island. We'll take it. We'll take it there. So that is pretty much one of the most southern island zones. Pachinki is now out of play, so Zebra Moss, they're pretty upset with you on that one. They're going to have to go ahead and make that rotation on South. Falcons outside of the zone, going to go down there as well. Meanwhile, Deathwolf's in a good position again in this circle, but they got to put some points on the board. They need some eliminations here.
Yep, the pressure is going to be on their shoulders. Ooh, nice hit though, all the way up onto with the Falcons. I mean, I think this is a good play for Zebra Master, just alleviating a little bit of the pressure, trying to open that away, moving forward up into his zone, but still got to watch out, because there's still quite a few dangers lurking in the shadows. Speaking of shadows though, I mean, Icy getting ready for action.
That you cut it out.
Player up, so they are chilling right now.
इसका लिखा है
Rafa, trying to figure out what he's gonna do here. Oh, the run over! But Nunez getting that revenge, and he should be able to get this res off. So Nenebete following his way on over. Smokes come out quick from Nunez. He's gonna get that res.
Yep, their actions pretty on point. Let's see whether or not Hugo is going to bust this one out. Ooh, sneaky play. But Icy's body is crazy. Determination is insane here.
He knows how to just stick his body out just a little bit, to where he's like, if I get shot, I'm gonna get shot at my shoulder. He's still just trying to hunt down those angles. Then he realizes that, you know what, it's better. We're out of position. Let me just get with my team and get ready to try to push into the next zone. You can just see them moving little by little. They don't really need too much cover. They're just gonna get it done with their gun skills.
Yeah, and I mean, Falcon's really good at playing the bait and switch at this point. Like luring the teams on the edge, trying to get them to fall for the trap that they've got set for them. But I mean, Smoke Gaming, they're not going to be budging, right? They're just listening on, just paying attention to what's happening around them. Meanwhile, Gizmo now start to push on forward. Up comes Pro. Up behind the rock, but Frog now going to be risking it all. They push on forward, quick, making quick work of them. Down they go. Top also getting found. Malin is down as well. So now all the pressure is going to be riding on the shoulders here for Pro. And this could be the play now for the Falcons to get yet another quick elimination on their side.
Oh, the Bro's going to have to make something happen. He's going to have to do it quick. He's going to be eating up a lot of blue zone here. So he's going to go down pretty much no matter what. Because they're going to shoot that buggy. I was about to say, they're about to shoot that buggy. Make sure he can't go move. And that's how you do it there. So beautifully done. Team Falcons are going to have to go for that quick move. They're going to pick up that player, put him on his shoulders, run him into the next zone. Look at the support.
I mean, it gives a whole different meaning to baggage, right? It's just picking a teammate up and moving them on forward. But there we go, Falcons back on their feet. Now it's going to be Smoke Gaming. Looking to see if they can get a slice of the action. Doesn't seem like there's any clear way to find it just yet. But also, we are going to be seeing our next phase now being delivered.
Dude, that's why Team Falcons are so tough to beat, man. These guys are just you have to take them out on their first try. Otherwise, they're just going to keep rezzing and finding angles and just taking you apart second by second. Next zone does go on up. Very similar. Pretty much centers up from the last one. So nothing too crazy. Smoke Gaming are on the edge. But meanwhile, all these teams are going to have to get moving. And that is not a good shift.
Yeah, the pressure is going to be pretty tough on this one. I like this from Rooklore, having a pretty close angle onto Inko. And I mean, even the players there from the Death Wolves could actually pack in quite a bit of pressure onto the side here. Nenebete, Nunez just holding nice and steady, waiting for any opportunity to present itself, but nothing as of yet.
Yeah, Death Wolves just happy to hold this position for now. They're just trying to put some points on the board. You can see them trying to look down, trying to figure out as much information they can get. I'm kind of shocked they didn't try to hold that hill and just get some gatekeeping going. Instead, I think they're going to just try to prioritize this little tiny dip. It's not a very good one, though. Because this next zone, all eyes are going to be on them.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Speaking about which, though, look at that play up onto ice. The quick confirmation coming through from the players there. Now, where will this next ship take us? Victor's locking in more points on the board. Inko also trying to clear a bit of a way. Gotta hop in those vehicles because the big bad blue zone is on its way. Smoke now. Facing off against the Falcons. Weak little reposition here from Ninho. Hoping to find a little bit of something, but Rook doesn't make it into zone.
He doesn't, and you can just see right now the rest of Victus on the rotation, trying to find a spot, but there's teams and players everywhere. Here comes the rotation. Maybe he's going to try to go for him for a run over. That's exactly what he's doing. He tries to catch them while they have the nades in their hands, but they're able to salsa their way out of that one. Maybe he goes for it again. Nope, he says, nope, one time's the charm. I'm going to stand back, try to throw some nades, see if I can catch one of these players from Intense Game off. That one's going to be off the mark there. But the rest of Invictus, they're in a good position to gatekeep. They have 3 eliminations here, and they need them all. He's going for it again. He's going to do it again. Nope, never mind. Caught yellow clipping.
Yep.
The rest of his team, they need to come quickly. That was a little bit too bold from him. The timing could have been a little bit off. Maybe he called the push, and the rest of the team said that they were there, and just a little tiny miscommunication is all it takes, guys. And just like that, Invictus falls apart.
Hey, though. Silence came through with M24. Nice. Little bit of bolty to seal the fate there, but now it's still going to be down to Smoke to see if they can get the heat in onto the hi-fis. Up comes the Death Balls because he goes super low, but it gets the pickup, and that's the hi-fis.
Oh my goodness, high five, Zebra Monster, all out. So Team Falcons in a huge position, right, to further that first place dominance right here. They have 3 eliminations, 37 points. Nobody in the lobby is even near them here. So, man, this is going to be a tough one to swallow for teams like High Fives and the rest of the players in that top 5. But a big opportunity for these teams at the bottom to put some big points on the board and try to make it to the top 8.
Yeah, I mean, well, 12th, second to 6th place is down to the count, so, you know, the gates are wide open, so if you want to get the push, now is the time to play. But speaking about playing, it's going to be Falcons now, just playing with their food here as they take aim over onto the place here from Intense Game. It's going to be Nodwin sneaking through in the grass. You can hear the footsteps. Zelo might be the first victim. Let's see whether or not the Falcons are going to look to get some of the action going here.
Yeah, here they go. Now they're just saying that, you know what, they've been looking at the leaderboard here. Almost gets run over. Wow, down to 1 HP, but does get that run over there. Intense Game, just looking to make it happen with a buggy. Gets taken out immediately there. So, man, these vehicle plays coming in so clutch towards the end. And Intense Game just trying to get those shots through the smoke. They're trying to keep their tournament hopes alive here. They know that they need this game, but Royals of War coming to shut them down, and they do.
Well, what a play though. Royals of War picking it up, cleaning house, but now they're not out of the woods, not out of the jungle. As we can see here, Falcons trying to back it in. Top though, sitting with all the eliminations for the squad, so action needs to make a little bit of that happen here. As the Royals of War, they're mobilizing, getting ready for the push. The Blues are nipping at the heels. Speaking about nipping though, the Moneymakers also getting right down to business as they defend against Insanity.
They get a big game right here. They're down in 11th place and they get shut down. Wow, the DBS pump action is just too deadly. Here goes the action, right? Look at him. Trying to throw all the utility he can as a solo player. Gets the knock. Goodness gracious. This team is just disgusting. Oh, trying to go for the 2v1. He might get it too. Look at that. Look at that movement. Taking that gun off to get that extra run speed. He's got the DBS out. And goodbye, Royals of War.
I
mean, that was so dang smooth. But of course, it's not over just yet. We still have Tonka and Teammate now coming up the rear, looking to see if they can avenge their squad. The Blaze just following through all the way. Even Smoke can be feeling the heat, as you can see Marlon speaking in through the window. Action getting spotted out of the reach, but so far managing to evade the majority of the hits, but not the needed ones. And down they go. Falcons out in 5th.
Oh boy, not much you can do, but they still put up some points on the board here. Very tough in the last circle of the game, most likely. Coming right up. Let's see what happens here with Smoke Gaming. Here on the edge. Trying to make some plays here. This could be an insanity win, but Royals of War, we talked about those teams, right? That were so desperate, needed to put some points on here. Royals of War were definitely in that bucket. Let's take a look here. Is Insanity looking to have a good, solid back-to-back performance here at the end?
I mean, look at the drift floor. Just playing so favorably here for Insanity. Everybody else needs to push on forward. I mean, Insanity, they've got the only compounds in the zone. They've got it under lock and key, but now comes the hard work. They're going to have to defend it as the Royals of War try to rotate up, pushing over towards the western side. Golgo, oh, Explosion does pick them up, but Tonka still in the fight.
Oh, here they go. Tonka still trying to make things happen. They're all trying to push into the circle. Insanity has that zone. They're trying to gatekeep a little bit, make it harder for these teams to rotate on in. Smoke's in trouble. They do have 3 players knocked. It's just Imaki up for their team. And I don't, he's not in position to get these rests off with Deathwolf right behind him. Uh-oh, Insanity actually giving them a little bit of a break here. That's really unfortunate for them, as Insanity gonna try to go ahead and take out Imaki. If he's able to do it, they'll have this entire area to themselves and most likely the chicken dinner.
Let's see if they can get that play to happen here. Royals of War still holding on to the edge of zone. I mean, I appreciate this play coming through from Insanity, right? Just so active on all the fronts, but they still have quite a bit of a threat to deal with. As you can see, Smoke now trying to go in for the pickup, trying to get that raise, but the nade ends it right there. Down to the final 3 teams we go. Insanity look like they could maybe have this one in the bag.
Oh my gosh, let's see if they're able to get it here. They need this chicken dinner. They tried so hard in that last one, but that zone going over to be bold spoiled them up here. So they have these buildings locked down. They get that knock there. It looks all but over. They just got to make this last push onto the Death Wolves, but we've seen so many teams get taken out by just one player. They cannot make a mistake here. They have to push together.
That's going to be a very essential play now. Because the Insanity trying to find the play to make here. Royals of War still going to be just trying to bring in a little bit of a contribution. But I mean, they have a golden chance. There we go! Insanity closing it up for the Death Wolves as they get shipped on out of here. And we're down to the final 2 squads.
Huge game for Insanity. 8 eliminations on their side. That's going to put them in a good position to get top 8 and make it on over to those prelims coming up in just a couple of days, folks. Royals of War were almost out of this tournament. They were all the way at the bottom of the leaderboards. And with a top 2 finish here, that'll put them in contention, but they're going to have to get it done in Miramar coming up. Only 2 more matches right after this. This is an Insanity win. 1,000%. The only way that Royals of War win this is with the miracle at this point.
I have to agree with you on that one. Let's see. Can they get that? It's going to be a pretty tough play. Tonka already taking damage. Yeah, there's no way left to move from this rock. It is going to be a tough angle. I mean, they came pretty close to the previous match. Now they're going to try to double down. Why not have that chicken slip from their fingers? As it's 1 down, 1 more to go. 1 play could give them exactly what they are so looking for. Beautiful nade. Oh, almost on the money.
Marlon, here he goes, 4-3. Hey! And they are out of here. Let's go. Beautifully done right there. A big game on the side of Insanity. You can see their excitement here. 2 back-to-back games. This is what I love to see. I love to see teams that, you know what, didn't have a good couple games to start things off. You know, it's hard, especially with so much pressure. Only 1 day, do or die. Have a conversation with each other. change up their gameplay, and come back strong. And that's exactly what Insanity does. Very hard to do at this level.
I mean, I was waiting for Insanity from group stages. I was waiting for that Insanity to come back, right? And now, well, they did it, right? Game number 4, they stepped up, they came to the party, and what a party it was. Also still ending with those double-digit elims.
Man, beautifully done right there. Double-digit eliminations and the chicken dinner, especially coming off of the second-place finish, was just absolutely massive for them. So hopefully they can continue to do that same strategy. If they're able to do that here, we're going to see them in the finals. But you know what? I'll tell you what. Speaking of the finals coming up soon, Team Falcons are looking pretty locked in here. If you're Hi-Fi's and you're Zebra, what do you think you do here in these last 2 Miramars, DK?
I mean, you gotta try and be creative, I guess, right? Because I mean, there's so much here, right? So I think for like Zebras, they just gotta do what they were doing, I would say, back in game number 2 and 3. Right? Things were working out quite well for them. They were able to still keep a lot of that consistency going. I mean, even just looking at the aggression that they showed up here, it looked pretty good, but unfortunately, they gotta try and just add on top of that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I'm in their position and if I'm on their coach, I'm saying you gotta have to find Team Falcons at this point. Like, you can't let them run. They can't be trusted. They're too good. They are too good. They're too consistent, right? They're gonna put points on the board almost no matter what. The only reason why they didn't today was because of a military-based finish, and they were in the complete worst side of the map. So that was fortunate for the rest of the teams, but you can just see them here. I mean, we just saw what Action was able to do all by himself, right?
Yeah.
These guys are so tough to take down. It's like one player is almost 2. So I think at this point, Hi-Fi's, Zebra need to do something to slow them down if they want to take that first place finish. Otherwise, just get ready for the prelims coming up.
Yeah, I mean, so this is the big decider, right? As you said, you want the tickets or you want to go the prelim route. I mean, still, either which way, they've made it up into the qualifying positions. It now just comes through as to for which thing do they want to qualify directly. So yeah, but I gotta say, intense, really crazy plays that we had coming to the end of this match. Insanity, I love how they just stepped it up, and again, numbers going a really long way.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, and going in at the perfect time too. That's what's so great about it, is I love to see teams that have that clutch factor, and that is something that they do for sure. So I'm gonna take a look at the elimination leaders here, see who was able to frag out the hardest. And wow, look at that. Zebra Masters, 10 eliminations. Getting it done here.
Yeah, I mean, that's just their one player, right? Vitin getting the insane double-digit play. Of course, followed very closely with their teammate there. As you can see, Niels Dada just locking in right on their heels. No Fear, though, from Hura, playing a really good position. I mean, we did see No Fear also really clutching up in this match, and I think it was very well-deserved from their end as well.
Yes, it was. So let's take a look here also. Who's going to be the MVP at the end of this here? It's going to be very interesting to see. It's going to be Marlon from Insanity Esports. 6 eliminations. We saw him right there towards the end make some really sick plays with that nade. 222 healing as well. I mean, once they got this position, the zone came here, and they really executed perfectly. So that's what I like to see, because they needed to win that match 100%, and they did.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's safe to say that Marlon strong-armed their way to victory, because the last 3 elims we saw come through here from Marlon was all with those utilities. So, definitely has the range, and of course, well, nothing wrong with a little bit of strong arm play to get yourself that winner chicken dinner.
100%. Take a look here at the match rankings. That's 20 total points. Oh my goodness. So we saw Insanity. I think here at the top of the day, after match number 2, Insanity was in 14th place. Okay, so they were in 14th place. They had a really bad 2 games. They literally had 2 total points after 2 games. So after this 20-point game here, I wonder just how far they rocket launched themselves on the leaderboards.
Live stream
I think
हेर्नु न
that is
आधी
going to be
घण्टा
a
अगाडि
really good question to see. And of course, well, we are going to be taking a look at those points to see exactly how much of an impact that chicken can bring to the Blaze. I mean, 6-spot jump.
3rd place? Goodness gracious. 2 back-to-back monster games. And these guys are in the run for the golden ticket at this point. There's still 2 more matches. If they have 2 more games like they just did, they could be going straight to the finals.
Yeah. I mean, consistency is key, right? And they are proof of that, right? As you said, started off in 14th position and now sitting all the way up in a very comfortable 3rd place. I mean, yeah, it pays off to be pretty relentless.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you do it. They got that clutch factor. They proved that they can get it done during hard situations. Now it's time to keep that energy, baby, right? It's time to even get more clutch. Go beyond the clutch, right? That's what they got to do here. So they're in 3rd place with 34 points. That is a 9-point difference from Team Falcons. So if they do want that 1st place finish, they're going to have to go crazy here because 9 points is a hard gap to beat, especially against a team like Team Falcons.
Well, I mean, if they play another game like the one we just saw, it might be possible for them. But of course, you know, it's also possible a little bit of that desert action. So we are going to be hopping into a break. So be sure to stay tuned and see you guys right back in a short few moments.
That is the good night. Good night.
एकैछिन म वासरुम गएर आउँछु
चार मिनट में स्टार्ट छ मैले वाशरूम गएर आउँछु
Welcome back, everybody. Of course, guys, do not forget the Anniversary Crate event surprise launch. Popular items make a return from the 8th of March, all the way up until the 30th of April. The daily first draw is only 30 UC, guys. There's multiple popular outfits and firearms, including the full set, which I have. It's beautiful. The Anniversary set, that M4, of course, drop the base, Scar L, and loads of other items. Oh, wait. So get in game. Pop some of them crates. Hopefully get some of them nice skins. But you know what? It's time for some Miramar, baby. That's right. The last 2 matches of the day. First Miramar. Here we go. This is a very important match here. Because those teams on that bottom of the leaderboards, this is their last chance, in my opinion. Like, they need to do something huge if they want to continue and make it on into the prelims.
I mean, it's going to be now or never if they want to get those seats. So, yeah, they got to go get them. But I'm curious to see where exactly the teams are going to have to head in this game, right? Because, I mean, let's be honest, zones in Miramar sometimes can be quite interesting with what it gives to these teams.
100%. That's why, like, looking at the formula for this match, right, the original schedule, that's why I was talking about playing it maybe extra aggressive in Sanhok, get those early points. And then, you know, in Erangel, you really have to just get that consistency going, because Miramar is going to be a little bit of a wild card. Anything can happen here with these circles, and you don't want to leave it up to chance. And unfortunately, I mean, it does happen, right? Some teams have bad games, bad rotations, a couple mistakes, and then all of a sudden you're at the bottom of the leaderboard. So the teams that are in that position, okay? We're talking about, and even Be Bold is right there on the line.
Easy zone.
Be Bold was, they're in 8th place with 22 points. Faction Brazil is right below them, only 1 point difference. So 22 points is the current cutoff, all the way down to 15th, right? Gizmo has 11 points. So a good game here, possibly a chicken dinner, could put them in the running, but it has to be chicken dinner time for them. And Invictus, with only 4 points in 4 matches, they're going to need a miracle at this point if they want to make it on in.
Well, as we know, you know, miracles are not necessarily all too impossible when it comes to PUBG. Even the map of Miramar itself could definitely present a few amazing opportunities here. But, I mean, even looking at, like, Faction Brazil, right? They do sit with a winner chicken dinner under their belt, but they are just barely holding on, right? 3 points ahead of the Royals of War. So, yep, there's going to be a lot of pressure on this match. But talking about pressure, though, I think the zone also looks exceptional, right? All the way over on towards El Pozo. So it is going to allow for quite a bit of a playthrough for the teams within that eastern side of the zone.
Yeah, let's see what happens. I mean, we talk about miracles. I will call this circle a little bit of a mini miracle on the side of Invictus, because they were dead center of the circle here. So they're going to have a really good position going into this zone. So if they want to be able to clutch up that chicken dinner and desperately, you know, make it into that top 8, now's their chance. And this is the only chance they have. So can't afford to even lose a player early at this point. Like, you know, earlier games, if you had a squad wipe and you lost a player, that could have been okay, right? It worked out for Hi-Fi's. But at this point, you need to make it into that last final top 3 with a ton of eliminations.
I mean, that's going to be the way to go, right? You can't really try and play it any other way. So, yep, focus is going to have to be on the foreground in this one. At least for the Royals of Wars, we can see up in towards Los Leones. They do have Ruch just towards their southern side, but this being Los Leones, they're still quite far away, right? And obviously, as we know, looking at the map, this is one of those maps where things appear much closer than they actually are. So there is a bit of hope still for teams to get themselves pretty well situated. I also like this angle coming through here from Hura, all the way between La Cobreria as well as the Crater Field. So there's a lot of spread opportunity for them to really try and hunker down, get the loot, and then make a potential shift into, I don't know, either southern zone or maybe even a bit of high ground.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's not over. You're so right. It's not over yet for pretty much any of these teams. Any of these teams can still make it into top 8, but there's different levels to it, right? These teams at the bottom, like Invictus, they need a chicken dinner with monster eliminations to even stand a chance at this point. Some of the other teams at the bottom are going to need something similar. And of course, those teams in that top 8 just need to stay consistent. Now, you know, the other thing that we're focusing on, of course, is that first place, Team Falcons. In your opinion, which teams do you think have a chance to possibly unseat them at this point?
Well, I mean, looking at what we saw come from Insanity just in the last match, I think they have a pretty high probability of potentially bringing in a disruption to the Falcons. Hi-Fi's, they've also been pretty consistent across the board. So maybe they could be a little bit of something to come through. So I would say, yeah, I would maybe rely a little bit more on the side of Insanity. And yourself?
Yeah, you know what? I think I'd probably be in the same boat. I mean, they've shown that they can definitely clutch up when needed. They have the most momentum coming into this match, that's for sure. I mean, they just jumped up all the way from second to last to third place, right? In just a couple of matches. So that's no, you don't just do that if you're an average team, you know? So hopefully they can capitalize on that, keep that same energy, and just continue that little hot streak that they got going on. And we could definitely see something happen here. In order for that to actually be a possibility, though, the Falcons have to go out early here. They have to, because you really need them to put up a donut, you know, or maybe 1-2 points, and you have to have a good game, because with how they're playing right now, just seeing, you know, one player pretty much, you know, gatekeep an entire team by themselves, they're going to put some points on the board and going to be very, very tough to catch.
Yeah. I mean, once they start finding that momentum, it's so challenging to put a stop to that. I mean, we've seen that in a lot of the matches here today, right? When the Falcons get that ball going, there's not much that can disrupt them along the way. But another team that we've also seen that's been quite consistent so far today has also been Zebra Masters, right? So they placed in the top 5 in the first 3 matches, and it's only in the last game where they ended in 10th place as opposed to, you know, finishing well within that top 5.
100%. Well, you can see the calm before the storm. I mean, this is very much, you can just almost feel the tension in the air, right? Teams playing very, very carefully right now, very tight. I mean, these are the championship rounds. Like, you have to pull out every single stop. There's no excuses. Your communication has to be extra sharp. Your positioning, you have to just really be extra careful. And you can see Aksha just trying to look for some last second loot. He finds that M4 in DBS, so he's pretty well set up here. And we're going to look at that team, that disruptor, right? Insanity, looking to just try and get as much loot as they can get their hands on.
Yeah, well, loot is going to be essential, especially for this early stage of the game. But let's see what is going to happen there with the players from Faction Brazil. Not exactly having a clear line of sight, as we saw down on towards the edge here. But again, right, that elevation could definitely benefit them quite a bit. I mean, Falcons are also just working their way through a little bit of potential elevation here. Again, looking at the map of Miramar, I think this is where a strategy along those lines could definitely benefit a team if you want to be a little bit of a nuisance and not necessarily get caught in any of these heated game plays in the early stage.
Yeah, 100%. Got to play concise. You got to be on point here. The one thing that's kind of tough, though, in these kind of positions in this game is, like, the longer you go without getting into a fight, it's like your hands almost cool down a little bit. And they definitely fire up, though, when you get a circle like this. Goodness gracious. I mean, this is a Saunther shift here. So we're going all the way to the south, of course. I mean, hey, it wouldn't be the Global Open without some, you know, shifty circles. And that's going to be a big one right there. So this hard rotation, we're going to see a lot of teams. Like, it looks like Insanity is going to wise up, wrap around, and go to that hard shift side. You know that hard shift side is open, and you can see a lot of teams just rushing towards it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Ladriera, a very, very exciting place to play through. Of course, also Monte Nuevo alongside that. I think it's going to be so crazy. But looking at Intense game, though, again, playing off of the high ground, just peering into the opponents, and no one is safe, right? They can try and rotate up, But, well, if Intense Game has any say in it, they are going to try and stop a few of those rotations. Meanwhile, Inko going to be huddled up here. Good spread that they've got within the compound. Again, this is the trick of the compounds, right? You don't want to be too close together because one well-placed nade, as we've seen in the previous matches, really plays one major upset.
You're not messing around. That is so true. One nade is all it takes here. So you got to make sure you're in the right position with your squads. You can see the Falcons. I was talking about that perfect distance, right? When you're driving all together. And they're trying to keep that in line here. Hi-Fis do spot some players on the rotation. They're going to try to avoid them right now. Yeah, early engagements, especially with the hard shift, you want to avoid at all costs. Because if you get into a fight, there's going to be a team already rotating and looking to third party it. So I don't blame teams right now for trying to play it very careful, especially on a hard shift.
Well, speaking about hard shifts, it's going to be Invictus and Hi-Fis now getting right down to business. A little bit of crossfire happening across the way here as well. But it's no surprise, right? Up in Monte Nuevo, there's already so many positions that a team can occupy. Falcons just going to be a little bit more towards that eastern side, so not immediately involved in the altercations. But as we see action now starting to move on up, there could be quite a bit of carnage just on the horizon.
100%. So let's see what they plan to do here. As Invictus, that team I was talking about here at the start, all the way at the bottom of the leaderboards, it's chicken dinner time for them. They either get a chicken dinner or they go home. And they know that, so they're trying to play this very carefully. They are in Monte Nuevo. This is a tough position. And the reason why I say that is because this is still very early. The zone can go anywhere. And if it decides to go like another hard shift south, for some reason, these zones, when they get a hard shift like that, they just love to go in the same direction. If it does do that, they're going to have a hard time leaving.
I think that's part of the challenge, right? Really finding a good exit strategy in and around these compounds, buildings, and so many angles you got to watch on all fronts. I mean, we've got the players from Faction Brazil still holding nice and steady just north. Hi-Fi is also trying to see if they can maybe find a little bit of an opportunity. But, I mean, Smoke, surprisingly quiet up on the high ground.
Yeah, just playing it carefully right now because I think they realized, too, that the zone could definitely come up. Wow, beautiful spray there from Invictus. That's going to get the thumbs nice and warm. They're not going to be able to get the finish, but still a nice knock in general. So, just some players poking at each other. You can see Invictus. You know, I like the fact that they put that bike inside the house. That's how important those vehicles are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's the first time I think I've ever seen a team do that. So, you know, respect to them. That's yeah. You gotta take care of your vehicles. I mean, a garage is one thing, but, you know, just park it indoors, lock it behind a proper door, and you know that nobody's gonna mess with that thing. Also curious to see what the Death Wolves are gonna be doing here. I mean, it seems like they're getting a little bit unrestly, right? They're just starting to move about, getting that mobility going, waiting in anticipation for someone to present the opportunity.
You know, see what opportunity we're gonna see here coming up. Hi-Fi's just kind of holding some angles, and Invictus doing the same thing. He did end up losing his helmet, so he's gonna try and search for one here. Ugh, that's the unfortunate part about these kind of like poke shots. All you're doing is just losing armor. So, I don't know why some teams opt to do it. I never understood it. Because you're just losing armor, wasting resources when you know you're not gonna get the finish. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a interesting strategy to use. Sometimes it works, other times not so much. But you know, each to their own. Speaking of which, though, the players here from B-Bold also still have to cover a little bit of ground to get themselves nice and snug into that zone. They are going to be looking at Bruno, looking for change. I don't think Bruno is going to find any change, though.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Moneymaker is trying to get some intel. Just to go, we talked about how important this game was, right? We are about to hit stage 4. Not a single player eliminated. Not a single player is out the game yet. So they are playing it very carefully. Oh, we might have our first, and we're gonna. So be bold, losing a player, and it's to the play zone. That's how much these teams want to avoid fights at all costs. They need to get into that end zone, and they need to put some points on the board.
Well, that was an interesting play then coming through there, as we did see Bruno falling to the blue. Beautiful nade though, but a little bit of that molly heat rolling down onto Malinzin. Let's see whether or not Gizmo are able to contest. They still need to just ensure everything is nice and dandy. Yes, they got the pick up in the building, but that's one thread out of the way, right? Still a few more to go before they get themselves securely in zone.
Yeah, I was about to say, speaking of heat, the blue zone's going to start hurting. This is stage 4, and once it hits stage 5, it just starts chunking you. You can't really stand in there too long, so you can see them trying to hurry it up. They only have 20 seconds on the clock. They're on the thin side of that circle, so it's going to close just a little bit slower for them, but still, they need to find that position, and they need to do it quickly. We're going to start seeing teams drop like crazy now. Even Death Wolves are nading each other. That's how excited they are for this match here. Meanwhile, though, they do get the nade onto Nenebete. Death Wolves. Oh, the triple, baby! That is how you do it. Looking to get the finish. Come on, you got to get the squad wipe. You got the moves. You got to get the dunk. He misses it. The rest of the team, where are you? No, 7 survives just a little bit longer. Oh my goodness! You can't. When you break the ankles, you gotta get the dunk, DK. You gotta get the dunk.
Oh man, I gotta say that was one hell of an impressive play coming through from the team there, Inkar. I mean, such a phenomenal defense. That was just crazy. So you gotta love these plays that the teams are making here. But speaking about plays though, it is gonna be up to the players here, right? Faction Brazil. They are kind of the gatekeepers on the edge of that zone. Still has to get themselves snugly positioned. But, yeah, they've got a little bit of pressure just right behind them as well. So they got to be really careful with how they play this modern positioning.
Oh, yes, they do. So they got to play it very careful indeed. You can see Gizmo out. That's actually Be Bold out. That's the 8th place team here, DK. That is huge. So every team below them now know that there is a spot wide open here. Faction Brazil, now we're going to pretty much catch up to them. So I believe they're tied already with that one elimination they have. But the rest of these squads, they need to put the points on the board sooner rather than later if they want to continue their tournament life.
Well, let's see who's going to pick it up though. Ooh, Zebra Master going to be moving in. They do find one, but Faction Brazil not going to be backing out of it just yet. You can see Nelson just steadily on the edge, hoping for the angles, praying that they get that play. Oh, the opportunity comes around. But Zebra Master coming in with a beautiful sweep, and well, off they go.
Off they go indeed. So they're in the hunt for that first place as well. They're not too far off. If they can have a really good game here, they're in it. But this is the team to beat, and they have the high ground. These guys are dangerous. You can just hear those shots. I mean, if they even see a speck on the map, they're taking you down, and that's exactly what they're going to be doing to the moneymakers. Let's see. They're starting to press the action here, as Action himself has that nade locked and loaded. Oh boy, at the bottom, sees it coming. Sweeves that one. Can he dodge another though? Action trying to time it perfectly. Oh, that one was really close. And meanwhile, he's just trying to hold that position to buy some time for his team so they don't push. And that's exactly what he's doing, and he's doing it well.
Qualify.
Yeah, we're gonna have to survive with the dip diving, dodging as best they can. Moneymakers. Yeah. The dip dive, duck and dodge. There we go.
Correct.
You gotta hit all 4 of them, otherwise it doesn't count. But what is gonna count though is for the moneymakers to get that pickup secured and regain a little bit of ground. I mean, they still have a long way to go. Smoke Gaming.
Ooh.
Yeah. Beautiful play though, coming through from the high fives.
Yeah, beautifully done. I was surprised he ran away. He should have left that smoke kind of bloom for a second and then try. But that jump, high fives just instantly said, no, sir. I'm gonna get that knock and finish. We need these points bad.
And
look at that. Wow. Hi-Fi is just clutching it up. These guys are so good under pressure situations, right? Really tough plays. When they're running out in the open, they're able to get it done. And that is one of the attributes of a championship team. So let's see if they can disrupt the Falcons and make it to the finals. But it's going to be hard because Falcons have a 6-point lead going into this match. And they already have 4 eliminations and counting.
Top 2
I mean, like where's it going to end, right?
Yeah.
Falcons, again, starting with that momentum.
I said it earlier. I think that if you really wanted that first place, you had to stop them yourself. You know, like, look, get one of those knocks.
Some pretty intense plays come through here, but Rook, they really want to try and, I mean, just disrupt everything up for grabs. I mean, if they pull this one off, right, there might still be an opportunity for them to lock in the necessary points to make it up into the top 9, because that's where we know the cutoff is, right?
Yes.
The players from Faction Brazil, sure, they are also then sitting on 22 points, but that's it. So it's a tie for 8th and 9th place with regards to the total points. So there's so much riding on this for Rook and, of course, the Royals of War. So let's see whether or not Rook can actually get themselves into the points play.
They need to. They really need to do it here and now. They don't want to wait to the last game, because the last game, you're always going to see some shenanigans, right? Because you may see the top 2 teams, you know, just go for Falcons at this point just to stop them. They have nothing to lose, right? Nothing to lose if they do that. And sometimes you have teams at the bottom who realize there's nothing that they can do to make it in, and they might just go and disrupt people as well. So now is the time. Hi-Fi's definitely not trying to leave things up to chance. They're going to get another elimination there and try to catch Team Falcon's dream with a lay down on that vehicle, trying to get some spots. But I believe they're at the edge. And Victus, this is what kills me, right? They had such a dominant position, but guess what? First place isn't good enough. You need first place with double-digit eliminations. You got to stand up and you got to get to work.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So let's see who's going to be doing the work, right? Doing the most right here when it matters. So much on the line here. I mean, we've been seeing these teams just cracking it out over the past 4 games. Game number 5, no change, no difference. Just even more pressure being added to that.
See Invictus there looking for some headshots, just trying to put some points on the board, but those shots are way too far away. Rook getting knocked there is going to be pretty tough. It's starting to get shot from all different sides. And I believe that's Hi-Fi's, right? Yes, just putting in... Actually, no, that's Worlds of War. These are the 2 teams right next to each other on the leaderboards, trying to hunt down that 8th place position. If one of them gets a finish and they realize who's going against them, they're going to play extra hard to try to take him out here and now.
And I think the key is also going to be to try and make it at least to that 8th position at the minimum, right? Because that's where placement points also start to play in this. Because going out in 11th, you're not going to be awarded anything other than the eliminations you've been able to secure so far. Hura also going to be trying to at least defend the edge of the zone here. I mean, looking at the players from Invictus, they know what's at stake. They know that they're going to have to hustle, as they've not yet hustled in this day. So there's quite a bit of pressure as we get deeper and deeper. And we're almost in stage 7.
Yes, they are. So here we go. Stage 7 about to happen. Falcons going for that res. Action has to give it up. He sees them coming. Trying to spot those headshots. Top right next to him. DBS is out. But they're getting picked apart. Insanity knows it's them. And they get the finish. So a huge, huge win here on the side of Insanity Esports. You talked about one of the teams you thought that could disrupt them. You said Insanity, and they just did it.
Wow. What a play, though. What a play. There is still a long, long way to go. Invictus now looking to see if they can pick up the pieces. Who are just up ahead of them. I mean, neither team really having to defend much of the position on zone, but that is with the current phase, right? We are waiting to see where that next shift is going to be taking us. So if it moves to that eastern side, it is going to spell disaster for Invictus and Hura.
I'm going to say it right now, Invictus is done. That's it. It's over for them. They did not play this one the way they needed to. their tournament life is over. So now I think it's time to focus on these teams that are going to be hunting down that top 8. Royals of War still in it. Inko, they have 5 eliminations, 2 players up. With a good game here, they could stand a chance in that last game. So it's really, I think, Inko on up, just fighting for their lives right now to make it into the prelims. And then, of course, you have Hi-Fi's and Insanity just trying to go to that main event right off the rip.
Let's see who will get that secured, as it is going to be Invictus. Now trying to maybe sneak in a few points at the expense of Hura as they make the break for Zone. But someone's got to do it, right? And of course, looking at what we've got, I mean, Hura, they do make a successful push on towards the southern side, but they've got no real cover. A slight dip maybe to try to utilize, but that is not really going to suffice. Meanwhile, it's going to be Insanity now also just trying to play the catch-up game, focusing down on Hura.
Beautiful angle there. And here come the Molotovs, and they have that high ground, so he's going to be able to have that arm to reach all the way down there. You can see him throwing out some smokes because he knows he needs to be able to make it into that blue zone. But right now, all he's trying to do is apply so much pressure onto them. I'm surprised. Does he have any more? No, he doesn't have any more smokes. If he did, throwing them on to Hura would have been huge to allow him to push up. But he's completely out of utility. He's going to have to get it done with that scar there.
See if they can find the play now. Big jump over on towards the Wheels of War as they also start to take aim over on towards the western front. Now it's up to Malik to defend the honor of Hura. Insanity not going to be relenting anytime soon, continuing to push on forward. Romulus in, up they come. DBS in hand. I love this weapon. I call it the don't be silly, and for a very good reason. If you get too close, nasty stuff happens.
What did you just call it? Don't be silly. And that is what just happened. Insanity feeling themselves after taking down Team Falcons. Go down to a nade. You said it earlier, right? One nade can spell disaster. And right now, I guarantee you, there's nothing but silence on the side of Insanity. He's gotta have to make a play here. Can he do it? Oh, the shots are too good for Malik. He's feeling himself. Goodbye. So that is Insanity done with 7 eliminations. You know that Hi-Fi is so excited here because they have a chance. They have a chance to try and make it happen and dethrone the Falcons.
It's gonna be close though.
Oh, he gets knocked. Vitali! 2 knocks! 7 with another! Oh, this is brutal. Now it's only 1 player up for Hi-Fi. They go for the push. They wanted this win. And Inko Gaming, 7, the last one up. It's DBS versus DBS. 7's gonna go for the res. Does he realize? And that allows Intense Game to push up for free. Here they come.
Yep. Ooh, gotta watch out, Tonka.
Oh, he's getting Vitali.
Dick. Oh,
he got the res.
Yeah.
Then you can tweet.
Okay, so Wheels of War. They still in this. I mean, Inko, they just playing some super insane gameplay at this point. There's going to be Rafa and what is left of Intense Gaming now. Knocking on the door. I mean, Dream still holding steady. Not moving an inch, but Vitali though. Getting traded up.
Total no fit.
Yellow getting that nade off right there. Meanwhile, Royals of War trying to keep their tournament life up and running. They have the angles here, and they're going to get some more eliminations. Beautiful shots there from that UMP. From that distance, too, you can't even see the shot markers, so especially while it's suppressed. So good shots there from Tonka. Invictus still alive, right? I mean, yeah, they survived, but it's not enough points. Not enough points at the end of the day. So it's really up to see how many more we're going to get from Royals of War, Inko, and Hi-Fi's.
I'm not even playing in this. My heart is like beating in my throat. It's insane. I mean, we just did the prelims, right? The qualifier. Oh, not the prelims. We're in the qualifier finals. There's so much at stake here. Let's see whether or not Rafa can make something happen. I mean, an interesting play coming through from Dream, right? Dream has not moved an inch. Rafa is going to be falling to the zone. That is going to be Intense Gaming down and out as we are left with only 4 remaining squads. 7. Oh, there could be a big cook just happening on the edge there.
Yeah, all those players are done for. Hi-Fi is going to go out to the play zone, just try to deny the points at this point, and I don't blame them at all. So let's see who's going down. That's Invictus. It's Roseborn with the chicken dinner there, getting that beautiful position and just taking advantage of it. Man, what a way to get it done here right at the end. Before going into this game, guys, we're in place. So just below that cutoff, right? And with that chicken dinner, 7 eliminations as well. Look at that. Oh, he's like, we go into the prelims, baby. We go into the prelims.
You know, well, that's a different way of celebrating, right? I mean, that's a
last
cool
match
way
पनि Miramar
open on them sunglasses. I mean, maybe the sun's still shining in Brazil. I don't think it is because it's a little bit. Well, maybe it is. Yeah, it might still be shining. But either which way, I mean, there's a lot of you know, a lot of excitement out here for the Whales of War.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what.
एउटा 4 बजे उठ्छु